Well, that means it's already out.
It is out. Speaking of it,
It
it's
is out, right? Yeah.
Okay, so breaking news, we got the
Tyler Mott ruined Alex Petrangelo's St. Louis career, shipped him off to Vegas.
Welcome everybody back to the BTR podcast. Before we continue, we dropped our NHL end of season tier list rankings yesterday, so make sure you guys catch it if you haven't. For those guys that have watched it, and thank you for the support. Also, make sure you guys follow our socials down below.
Yeah, this is coming on Monday, so we dropped it 2 days ago.
Oh yeah,
technically,
true.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a big episode today. Obviously, gonna have an ultimate off-season recap.
Yeah.
So for more on the off-season, hit the subscribe button because there's gonna be news continuing out for these next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. NBA, right? And we got to start off with that. We got some big trade
it's
requests. I think that had the more interesting offseason so far compared to the NHL. Both had kind of meh free agency targets, right? Compared to like other years. But I think still NBA had a bigger one. So we'll just start off with that. Usually, Damian Lillard finally has done it.
Yeah, finally.
He's finally requested a trade out of Portland. Came out a bit of a surprise for us, just because we're like, okay, well, we don't know when it's gonna happen, but he has officially requested a trade, and his preferred destination is Miami, and I think Brooklyn, but there is no trade clause on there is no trade clause on it, like unlike Bradley Beal. So Portland, even though I think report came out yesterday that they're willing to respect where he wants, but today I think Woj said they're not really going to hand tie themselves, which I agree with. If you're going to trade him away, it's Damian Lillard, right? You still want to get a lot of assets out of it as much as you can. And, yeah, we'll start from there.
So
it might actually happen this offseason.
He is your biggest player. Obviously, you're going to want the biggest return possible, right? The no trade clause obviously helps him because technically if some other team just offers it other than Miami and Brooklyn, Portland could just accept that.
Yeah.
Right?
They still kind of want to respect his decision, but at the same time,
they're going to look what's best for them first.
Yeah.
All right. As an organization, that's what you got to do. All right. Like I don't care what Dame is thinking right now. If I'm Portland's GM, yes, obviously you will still take a look at Miami's package. You'll take a look at Brooklyn's package, and Miami's package is going to be enticing because Tyler Hero is going to be in it. That's a guarantee.
So,
we all know that.
Before we get into that stuff, I feel like they will respect what Dame's wishes, just because he has been disloyal, right? He hasn't caused a scene. I think he'll ultimately end up in Miami, but like you said, if I'm dumb, it's a business at the end of the day, right? We've again, I'm gonna reference to our loyalty conversation. It is time, obviously, for both sides to move on, and it is a business. So if I'm Portland, you want the biggest return possible, which is why obviously Miami doesn't have the biggest return possible. Which is why they're looking for a 3-team, like a third teamer, right? Because Tyler Hero might not even be in Portland. Their links are that it could be the Spurs, it could be Brooklyn, for example, right?
Yeah.
So the key is what Portland views best. They have obviously a good young core, in my opinion. Anthony Simon, Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp, 3 off the bat. And we'll see from there, right? And then at the end of the day, Miami will probably ultimately get him. That's my prediction right now. I think he'll be a Miami Heat by the start of next season. But who knows how long it will drag out.
Yeah, I think Miami needs to get him, right? Miami lost.
They lost it on Beal.
They lost Gabe Vincent. They lost it on Beal. They lost Gabe Vincent. They lost Max Struss, right? They don't have a choice. And if they want to be back in the finals, they have to get Damian Lillard and win it all.
But yeah, so let's start there, because like obviously the trade hasn't happened. There's nothing else to report. So let's talk Miami first, then we'll get into Portland, because we're obviously going to lead it into some free agency talk through what Portland signed and what Miami did, right?
Yeah.
You referenced they lost Gabe Vincent. They lost Max Struess. I think those are the 2 that they lost so far.
Yeah.
Cody Zeller doesn't really matter too much for them.
But those are 2, like, those guys start for them, right? Like in the playoffs, they started for them.
Yeah, so...
And they're key contributors.
Is Dame alone going to get them to the finals?
They have Jimmy Butler.
Dame, I mean, like, adding just Dame alone. Because you did lose 2 scorers. Yes, it's Damian Lillard, don't get me wrong. He's equally as good as those 2.
Yes.
No, but you lose the defense from Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, which Damian Lillard doesn't have.
But you could
You're not.
make that
Are you
up.
saying right now Dame entered Dame? They're back in the finals. Is my
Well,
question right now.
they're in the conference finals again.
Okay, so that's conference finals.
Yeah, they could still
So
make the
I
finals.
still
I can't count on Boston.
they're
and
losing out Tyler.
Milwaukee.
Keep in mind they're losing out Tyler Hero. I know he wasn't there in the.
It's not like Tyler Hero provides good defense.
I'm just saying they're losing out
Yeah, I
on
know.
that scoring, which Dame will provide. They're gonna probably lose Duncan Robinson. Kyle Lowry's gonna be gone, but again, it's Kyle Lowry at this point of his career, right? So I still think they need to add more pieces around it. As good as Jimmy Butler and Bam are in that Heat culture, you lost two big keys.
Obviously, you can add pieces
the
around it
thing.
because like we just said the same thing about the Suns. You add
Yeah,
pieces around it.
I need to see that. Is the thing is.
Obviously, they'll do that. Suns are doing well right now. We'll get into it later. But like Damian Lillard is the piece that you
Yeah,
need
no,
first.
for sure.
That's priority
But
number one.
It doesn't put them over the top. Is what my point is.
How does it not put them
Over the top means they're guaranteed finals.
So you think they'll be that? Are they a better team when they add Damian Lillard?
Yes, they're a better team, but you also gotta keep in mind. We'll get into Milwaukee. They brought their key pieces back, right? Boston added a big piece. So what my point is, yes, will Damian Lillard help them get to the finals again? I agree with that, but I'm not saying it's definitively them and everybody else. That's my point.
But that's not gonna happen even if they add other pieces around them.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't
yeah,
think
but that's not happening. That's not the Suns when Suns added Beal. You didn't think it's Suns over everyone.
Well, we'll get into. For me was the Suns need to add pieces, but let's not get sidetracked with the Suns right now.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to make that point. Is like there's no move they could possibly make that will clear them from anyone, even if it's Damian Lillard.
Exactly.
Or not.
So it's a good piece to add for sure. I'm not saying that.
It's not a good. It's a fucking great piece.
Either way, I'm not discrediting the piece.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll see what the trade return is because then we'll see how they fill it around it, right? Because for me, is on the big man side of things, you'll get Dame scoring for sure. We need, obviously, a consistent Jimmy Butler. And then Bam, we want to see finals Bam again. Then, I'm like, yes, they're probably finals bound again. So, yes, you need to add Damian Lillard no matter what they need to do. I've said it had to be Damian Lillard or even at the minimum Bradley Beal. So I agree with that. I'm not saying that they're definitively a final. That's my question. My question was, were they a definitive final? Like, are you discrediting like they're 100% a final? That's what I'm saying that they're not.
But they have the best edition if they get Damian Lillard.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's gonna be better than Porzingis edition. It's gonna be better. Milwaukee didn't even add anyone. They just brought back everyone. So
yeah, but they're just hoping for a healthy Giannis this time and healthy Middleton because Middleton was injured for a lot of the year. But yeah, no, it's obviously Miami needs to get this done. They need to get this move. It should happen. It's bound to happen. If it doesn't happen, at this point, then oh my God, Miami's obviously not going to go anywhere because they lost two key free agents.
Done, yeah.
Like this is Miami has to do this. They missed out on Beal. They lost Gabe Vincent. They lost Max Strus, and those are not big tier names, but they at least know the culture and what they provided down there. You might have a disgruntled Tyler Hero. Usually, I know it's for outsiders looking at it, it should not be a big deal because it is a business, but you don't know how players take that personally, right? So. Yeah, Miami is on the clock. They need to get this trade done.
They have to.
They have to get this trade done. So let's move on to Portland.
Get as many picks as you possibly can. Get as many young pieces as you possibly can.
Now the problem is, who does Miami have for that? You need to get a third team in.
Yeah, but
right, like Tyler Hero's the only guy. We don't know if he's gonna be part of a third team, and because of that, who's gonna get the picks in return, right? Because
it's gonna be Portland, obviously.
Yeah, but like Miami might get a second back, for example, because they're also giving away Tyler Hero to a random.
Yeah, but if I'm Portland, I want first. I don't care about second.
Oh, I'm talking about both sides here, because if a third team is involved,
but there's also rumors saying that Nurkic might be involved.
Yeah, but Nurkic is for salary filler because Portland want to get off their contract as well.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they're throwing in Nurkic. It's not because Nurkic is some valuable piece to add to anything.
He's still a good piece to add.
But he's right now, they're looking to salary dump him. That's all it is.
Yeah, but that's what they're looking. But
even if Dame Lillard does not get traded, I would not be
get.
surprised that they were looking to trade away Nurkic.
Yeah, they can still get like something
because
we're
gonna get into Jeremy Grant in a second, but Portland, like you said, yeah, I agree. Get as many picks as you can from Miami because it will definitely be futures because Miami, I don't think they have many picks right now. And then whoever is it, the Spurs or will it be the Nets? I feel like the Nets might throw in something because they got obviously some picks from the KD trade, and so it'll be the Suns pick essentially. That will probably go to Portland. So the thing is, it's not going to be like any significant early pick, but then again, you're trading
Then
your
again,
best
you're
player
trading your
away,
best player
so
to
you're
a
not
team that's already
expected to get
good.
that.
You're not getting anything.
Yeah.
You're not getting a high
Can you
pick.
bring in a young piece from a third team? We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, but like the fact that you could also get Tyler Hero and flip him if you don't want him.
No, that's what they're saying. They're trying to flip Tyler Hero with a three-teamer.
Yeah, I'm saying like even if you don't get a 3-team and you do a direct, you could always flip Tyler.
Well,
Tyler Hero.
it's still going to be a 3-team trade.
Yeah, I know,
at the
but
end of
that's
the
like
day.
later on. It's not at once.
I feel like what they're doing is because they need to figure out salary matching anyways. Because
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry needs to either get bought out or traded because he's on like a $30 million contract.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero's on
obviously.
like a rookie extension as well, right? And then you got Bam, who's on like end of his like extension or in the middle of his extension. Jimmy Butler's making up.
Yeah,
Damian Lillard
Yeah, we
type
know.
money.
We know Miami's making a lot, but like
So-
I'm saying, as Portland wise, Portland could take a cap hit, right? But they're just trying to get as many assets now. That's what
Yeah.
they're trying to do. That's what they need to do, right? The Wizards didn't do that properly. The Portland needs to do that right now, and they need to get it right.
Portland's history.
They need to
They
get it-
usually get finessed
If
in
they-
trades.
yeah, they need to
but-
get this right. That's the thing.
Well, it's not even just get it right. Just get even 3 picks back is fine because they still have a
That's still
solid young piece.
good enough. It's still right.
Yeah, like 2-3 picks, they still have a solid young piece. If they even bring in Tyler Hero, like you said, they might flip him or they keep him. You try to use one of them to salary dump Nurkic if they really need to, and then they need to try to get obviously a big man, in my opinion. Try to get a young big man if they can. From
Yeah, but
any team.
that'll just come from anything. That'll even come from future assets too.
But let's stick with Portland here, and let's talk about their free agency heading into it, because Portland also made a big move that is kind of questionable now, in my opinion.
Bro, because they were probably assuming Damian Lillard.
No,
stayed.
they're saying that they were gonna do this anyways.
Okay then.
So the move was, where's the Blazers at? Trailblazers brought back Jeremy Grant.
They got Jeremy Grant for 5 years, 160 million. That's what it did.
That's what it was, right?
That's what it
Why
was,
is it
yeah.
not on score?
It's
Oh, right here.
32 million,
Re-signed
bro.
Jeremy Grant to 5-year extension, right? That's questionable for me.
Yeah, that's
Like
a
Jeremy
big
Grant's
max.
not a young guy anymore either. Like he's in the later 20s. I believe. I'll double check his. Do you have his age there?
Yeah, he's 29.
Yeah, so that's like right now that's a pretty bad contract because Jeremy Grant on a championship contender is like a third, fourth option.
Yeah,
On a
I agree.
contender.
Well, it doesn't matter for him now. They ain't going anywhere. So
No, but what I'm saying is
obviously, yeah, they put himself.
What
in
I'm saying is
they
why-
they put himself in a cap situation. Obviously, with him now, and now is looking like there's no need to sign him. Obviously, I just had a feeling. Yes, they might have said, they were gonna do it anyways, but I don't believe it. I think they were assuming that Damian Lillard was gonna stay, and that's why they did it.
Well, Damian Lillard wanted to fix their team. The problem is, they were not gonna get any other free agent other than Jeremy Grant, so that's why they threw in the bag, right? And Jeremy Grant, on the other hand, maybe he'll do what he did in Detroit, get his value up and get flipped, right? But the problem is the 5 years, 160.
Yeah,
If it
it's
was
an
like a
issue.
2-3 year deal, then I would have been like perfectly fine with it. But it's a 5-year 160. It's not official, so technically they could still
They could still,
back
yeah,
out of it, right? This is not like the NHL we're gonna announce right away.
Yeah,
NBA
yeah.
takes a while for everything. I don't know why, but so I think that's still a head scratching move for me.
It is a head
still good
scratcher. I agree with you.
for
but
5 years.
yeah, 5 years is a lot, especially as a 29-year-old at that money. Obviously,
Now maybe he's
I don't think that's gonna affect him now too much. That's what I'm trying to say.
he's the number one option there.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying like this, like it's not gonna put him in a completely shit situation. Obviously, you're gonna have Damian Lillard's gone, right? Your team's not gonna be good for the next 5 years, at least 3 years.
Well, for him, he got his bag, so now he's
Yeah.
gonna probably try to force his way out. That's what.
So like, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of the move, but I'm saying it's not gonna be impact them as much if now you think.
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
because they don't have any big contracts.
Yeah,
Either,
exactly.
so it's not gonna be cap. They're not in cap hell, which we'll get into Houston. Which
And then obviously, if you're trying to acquire young people, they're gonna have lesser contracts, right?
Yeah.
Rookie deals and stuff. And
I mean, after the
picks.
Simons just extended it, if I'm not mistaken, but that's
So like
about it.
that's why I don't think it's gonna. That's why I don't think.
Yeah,
it's
no,
a
but
big deal.
I'm not saying it's gonna hinder them or anything. I'm just saying it's like why bring him anyways? Is my point. That's the thing. But that's the only move I think they made. They lost Drew Eubanks, but
No, it's really-
I think they need to obviously go after a young big.
obviously, yeah.
But it depends on, I don't know who's out there, right? So
They could even wait, man. There's picks now. They're gonna get picks for Dame. Like, they don't need to rush this, right? Just let Scoot do what Scoot can do in his rookie year. Let Shaden Sharp get minutes. Let these young guys get minutes that they have right now. You don't have to worry about adding anyone unless there's a prime like a good young piece available right now. But you don't have to rush anything. You don't have to put yourself into a further hole that you are kind of in, because with the Jeremy Grant contract, just let these guys play, see how they develop. There's always bigs gonna be available, either draft or in the future. Like, Golden State got rid of James Wiseman without really giving him a proper chance, right?
Yeah.
So stuff like that could happen.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that this trade request came in because it's best for everybody, right? You did as much as you can. Like, you got to respect Dame for doing what he did. He tried his best. They did not provide the proper utilities around him, essentially.
Like, they were in a championship roster.
Yeah, they never really obviously, and it's not a lot of.
They were never.
A lot of it is, if it's free agency, it's Portland, so you can't blame that. But at least try to make trades, right?
Yeah.
Your Raptors did that with Kawhi and they got you a chip, right? So that's the type of moves they needed to make, like getting a Kawhi Leonard.
But they didn't. But like, we can't really say anything about that. They also made a conference finals, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's the furthest it's gotten.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they got to conference finals. Could they have progressed some way further by adding a piece, right? Instead, they lost like Seth Curry and all those guys that helped them get there. But let's move on.
Let's go into free agency now.
No, we got one more trade request.
No, James Harden.
James Harden
Surprise.
He opted in, so he's like the total opposite of Dame right now.
Bro, I don't like the way he moved teams.
1 second,
it was all through trades.
So we want to see what happened here first. He opted into his contract, right? He would have been a free agent if he declined that player option. So he didn't even need to be in a trade. But he wanted to help out Philly in a way to get something in return. Plus, he's guaranteed $35 million.
Yeah.
So he opted in, and they're working on a trade package, which was a surprising part when the news came in. I
wasn't too surprised once I saw the reasoning, because like, him opting out, only like 5 or 6 teams could afford him if he wants his base.
NBA would figure it. The NBA usually teams figure it out if any team really wanted him. But
yeah, I know, but
the rumors were Houston, which
I wasn't too surprised opting in, opting out. I think he was on the move, personally, so I don't know how.
Well, I thought it was on the move by free agency.
No, you know why? He likes getting traded, bro. He doesn't sign. He doesn't sign with new teams. He gets traded to new teams. He got traded to, the Rockets.
Yeah.
He got traded to the Nets. He got traded.
Well,
to
he did technically sign with Sixers after.
Huh?
He did technically.
Well, I'm talking about moving teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't sign with new teams. He only gets traded.
So essentially, James Harden is like for me, it's the opposite of Dame.
Yeah, he's a trade request
because
merchant.
But to be fair, because James Harden actually got the resources he needed. He requested for Dwight Howard, didn't work out. Then he was like, screw that, go get me Chris Paul. He's like, no, you know what, it's not Chris Paul, go get me Westbrook. We got in Westbrook. The team decided to go run 6-6 lineups every time, traded their only center away, and they got knocked out in the bubble. And then after that, Russell Westbrook got traded. He's like, you know what, let me get out of here. Then he goes to Brooklyn. Obviously, there was drama there, so I'm not going to 100% blame Harden. He got out of the situation. But then you had your guy, Daryl Morey, bring you in Philly. And again, you're not getting along. Not along, but you're not fitting well or whatever the case may be.
Job's not getting done.
With Joel Embiid, and now you're looking to leave. So, in a way, this is like the opposite of what we're going to say, the loyalty thing. He's just doing what's best for him. He's trying to figure out his situation. But the problem is, he wants to be the guy in a way. And now, right? When he went to Brooklyn, he wasn't the guy. It was Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
He went to Philly. He wasn't the guy. It was Joel Embiid. And now wherever he's going to go, he's no longer going to be the guy. That's the problem. Right? Like, we've seen him in the playoffs. He had 2 good games, excellent games, and then he had stinkers after that. His playoff history has been poor. Like, his playoff performances have, like, yes, he has had performances, but their clutch ones, he was never showed up, right? And rumors are it could be Phoenix. I don't know how it's going to happen, but the other big one was Clippers. And it kind of adds up because Russell Westbrook just re-signed with the Clippers for 2 years, $8 million.
Yeah.
So, but he was just with Russell Westbrook. And it's not going to be your team because Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, by the way, who are also injury-prone guys, like him, like James Harden now, how is it? I don't know how it's going to fit there and all the egos to the side. I think Paul George might handle it. I think Kawhi Leonard will be whatever, but we saw what the Eagles did in Brooklyn. I'm assuming he couldn't handle the Heat in the Sixers, and now he's trying to go to the Clippers, which is another super team bound. Or the super team's coming back first of all, if it happens. But
Yeah, I guess. Like, I don't. I might not. For him, I see a fit in the Clippers because they need a point guard, but now they got Westbrook. So like, I'm like, is there really a need for them to get it? Right? Clippers themselves, they can't get him because like when you make a super team, obviously all your cap is with like on 2 or 3 players, 3 or 4 players max, right?
their owner's rich, so you might just
Yeah,
give
yeah, I
them
know,
luxury.
but like they're on 4 players max.
Yeah.
2 of your players get injured every goddamn 10 games. You have 2 players left.
And the two players, and one of them is not even a big, so it's like
And
your two
the
guards.
reason also being that you're not gonna have that many great role players off the bench, anyways, right?
Clippers surprisingly have a deep team, but then if you're trading away pieces like Norman Powell, Robert Covington.
Yeah, they're not gonna have
right?
pieces.
They already lost Eric
They're
Gordon.
gonna lose role players.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have that many pieces on the bench. You have those 4 guys: Westbrook, Harden, Kawhi, PG. Kawhi, PG get injured. That's almost like a guarantee now, right? Now it's just Westbrook and Harden with a bunch of other guys, random guys. Westbrook and Harden showed that they couldn't get the job done with those guys before,
And that was when they were in their prime and killing it.
and
So-
with a better surrounding cast. So that's the issue with Clippers making a super team, is that there's so much capital in 4 players that if one of them gets injured, you're screwed. In this case, both of them, because they're 2 injury-prone guys.
Yeah.
That's why that's the only hinder on super teams, right? Because that's how the Warriors lost to the Raptors. They had so much capital in Curry, Clay, Draymond, and Durant. Durant was injured, and it was affecting them a lot in the final, right? Because like they were down 3-1.
Well, Clay also got hurt. You gotta mention that too.
I'm getting to that already.
Oh, okay, but no,
Yeah.
you said it affected him because they were down 3-1, but the 3-1 wasn't because of KD. It was also Clay went down. In
No,
game two.
Clay was healthy through the.
No, he wasn't.
Clay
Clay got
got
hurt
injured.
in game 2 and missed game 3.
Oh yeah, I did. No, he was fine in game 2. Game 2 he finished.
He got hurt in game 2,
He
finished,
finished game
it,
2.
but then he got hurt.
Yeah, because he made that big shot. Yeah, game 3 he missed, obviously.
Yeah, so that
then-
that was the cause of the 3-1. But then when he came
But
back, he wasn't
fine.
100%.
He was fine in game 4 and
He
game
wasn't
5.
100% either.
Yeah, but no one's 100% to
But what I'm saying is he came back off it.
Yeah, he missed one game.
But look what happened in game 6.
That's what I was about to get to.
Yeah.
All right, like let me finish my point.
But
Like,
no, I'm just correcting
let me,
you.
Let me finish it.
I was
right?
just correcting you.
Bro, like I'm just trying to say, like the KD wasn't there from game 1.
Yeah.
The only reason they had a chance in game 5 because KD actually provided that spark in the beginning, right? Where Clay was game 6 Clay and got hurt. I'm trying to say is that like when you make super teams, you have this capital invested in these 4
for
guys.
sure.
One of them goes down, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because who's gonna step up? Not much, because you're.
It
those guys
depends
are
on the
just roster
quality of the
fillers.
other guys if one guy goes
There's
down.
not gonna be great quality.
But what I'm saying is, if PG were to go down and Kawhi miraculously stays healthy, then they're fine, right? But in this case, in the Clippers case, we've seen both go down. So
Yeah,
to that point, yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is a super team like for the Suns, for example, if KD were to go down, it might be a bigger deal because it's Kevin Durant. But can Booker and Beal carry that load? You know, if Beal goes down, I won't be surprised as much if Booker and Durant do what they had done in the previous like playoffs.
in the
that just
playoffs,
passed,
yeah.
right? So the super team, it depends on which player goes down and how do you have still? Can you still? Because the problem with super teams is, well, the good thing, and we're gonna get to the Suns shortly. Players are willing to take pay cuts and join their team as well, with role players.
Yeah.
So you also got to look at it like that. Like a lot of people did do that, right? Like the Warriors, they got to the final and Clay got hurt in game 2, but finished it off. But he did not play game 3, which was obviously you guys won by a huge blowout that game. Game 4, he came back. Obviously, wasn't 100% because he's forcing himself to play. Game 5, KD comes back, gets hurt. Finished it off. Hit injury got worse. Game 6, Clay was up because you still had Steph, Dre, and Clay, right? And you had that Warrior system at that time. But then the minute Clay went down, your point hits because then that's when Raptors came back and won that, right? So it depends on which player goes down and do you have enough of the firepower and enough of the chemistry around it. In that Warriors case, they did. In this case, we need to see with the Clippers and we need to see it with the Suns.
Yeah, that's my
The chemistry matters in that sense as well.
Yeah, but also, actually, yeah, because that's my point. That's why I just don't like hearing these excuses because like you put all these resources, like injuries screwed us over. Well, obviously, because like you put all your resource in one guy.
Yeah, which is why like I'm not saying anything like the people are saying. Yes, at the end of the day, we know if the Warriors were healthy, the Raptors would have probably lost.
Yeah,
That.
I would have said that too. I'm
Yeah.
saying that too.
But what I'm saying is, it's part of the game. You can't put an asterisk, right?
Yeah.
Because the same Warrior fans have to acknowledge what happened with LeBron's first year with Kyrie getting hurt and
And then
Kevin Love getting hurt, right?
Right.
It happens every year. Injuries happen every year. You know, Giannis this year. You know, Kawhi this year. Anthony Davis the Suns year. Anything like it comes down to injuries. The only thing that deserves an asterisk is the bubble. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of James Harden, there's two things we want to keep in mind. Philly wants a significant return still, but which will be tough to do because according to this, it's not an extended trade. He's not extension eligible when he gets traded. So it's a rental as of right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So whoever acquires Harden is getting him on a 1-year deal and a UFA in 2024.
Yeah.
So if there's a team that wants to rent, yes, it might be best to go out. The Clippers might make sense in this case, right? Maybe even the Suns somehow do it, but I doubt the Suns will get him. I don't know who else really needs James Harden unless let me pull up a bunch of teams, but the Clippers make the most sense, right?
Yeah, Clippers make the most sense.
If
I don't
he
think
wants
he's.
to
I don't
contend.
think he's gonna go anywhere non-contending, right? Rockets already spent their money, so it's not. He's not gonna go like. Who's really gonna get him?
Like Boston, no.
Boss can't afford him.
Philly, he come back. Technically, he's still in
Yeah.
Philly.
There's
Milwaukee, no.
no.
Cleveland, no.
There's no one. There's
You guys wanna?
There's a very little list. There's like, the list is legit 2 teams max.
The only potential one I could see, but I doubt it'll happen, is Memphis.
Not happening.
But I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
So,
That's not.
and if New Orleans gets a healthy Zion, maybe them. That's
Yeah,
it.
I can maybe see New Orleans and Clippers. I can't see any other team, just because they can't afford them, or they're not gonna.
Or the cap space is not real.
Huh?
Or the cap space.
Or the cap is not real. Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah.
Like if he's a Celtic, bro, I'm just like,
Celtic
they're illegal.
or a
that's
Sun
illegal.
or a Sun.
They're doing something illegal.
Because the Suns were in on Kyrie, you do realize that.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had an interview requested, so it's kind of weird, like how.
Bro, like
it depends on the
they're-
luxury tax as well, how much your owner wants to pay too, right?
They're cooking something illegal.
Yeah, but you mentioned the Rockets because that's where rumors were Harden was gonna go. You want to talk about the biggest free agent signing of this summer?
Yeah, out of all the people.
So the Houston Rockets made some splashes. The problem is the moves weren't expected in terms of like, well, obviously we saw rumors, but I'm saying like when you think of splash, you think of Kyrie Irving signing something max. You think of other guys that are like big time free agents. They signed Fred VanVleet to a 3-year, $130 million contract,
Yeah,
and
so that's 42.
so
a
we have
year.
obviously we'll start with the Rockets, then we'll get into the Raptors side of things. So the Rockets, that was their first move. Their second move was yesterday, at the time of this recording, was they traded away KJ Martin for 2 second-round picks to the Clippers. They signed Jock Landale, right, from the Suns,
Yeah.
who was on the Suns, for a 4-year, $32 million. They're giving 4-year contracts. They signed Dylan Brooks to a 4-year, $80 million
And
contract.
that right there is my worst signing of free agency.
Wait. They traded Ty Washington, Usman Garuba, so another 2 young guys, to the Hawks for the draft rights of Alpha Kaba. I don't know who that is. No disrespect.
Bro, I'll be honest with you.
And 2 second-round picks.
That doesn't do anything for me.
No, I'm just saying. And they also brought in Jeff Green for 1 year. So let's start off with Fred VanVleet. First off, I just want to get something off my chest. I understand Fred VanVleet isn't a $40 million player that wins a championship in the current market. I'm not saying that. But those of you saying that he does not deserve the contract, this is where I disagree with it. Every player negotiates with their agent a contract. If the player signs that contract, they deserve it, unless there's some type of criminal that's playing in the league. Okay? You cannot say Fred VanVleet doesn't deserve that contract. You cannot believe we're foreshadowing a little bit. Draymond Green did not deserve that contract. Kyle Kuzma did not deserve that contract. Blame the team for giving him the contract offer, right? Yes, there's some players that could be like, depending on the team, I'm not going to sign a full max. I want to have draft or cap flexibility to sign other players. In this case, Houston wasn't going anywhere, right? The only team that made sense to give the contract was Houston. And if I'm Fred VanVleet, I'm taking that contract. Because he's already won a championship. He has no incentive there. Yes, you want to win more. Don't get me wrong. But the dude was an undrafted. Like, think of this story. Undrafted free agent that signed with the Raptors, worked his way to a 6-man role, worked his way to a champion, and was a vital part of the finals and the second half of the Bucks series, essentially, and was an all-star. I don't think he got all NBA, but he was an all-star.
He was an all-star, yeah.
Yes, did he struggle this past year? Sure. But you cannot not blame, but you can't say he didn't deserve his contract because he negotiated well with his agent. You got to give Rich Paul a lot of credit, right? You got to give Fred a lot of credit because the Raptors came out and apparently offered a 4 years, $30 million per. And then the Rockets are like, no, we want this guy for a couple of reasons, which we'll get into now. And they offered the 340 340, 43, which was 130 mil. Shout out to Fred VanVleet because he deserves this contract. For every athlete deserves whatever contract they get because they negotiated the contract.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking to get your bag, all right? I mean, is there a better word than deserved? There has to be a better word than deserved.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you could, like, say that his play doesn't match his contract. I don't know how you're going to word it like that.
No, that future is different.
No,
in that sense.
that's it's not future. It's now too. His play does not match his contract. Right?
But two things could be right, which is what you're getting into now, is because does he deserve that contract? Is a different word, like you said.
Yeah,
but two
that's
things
what
are
you were
right
saying.
because if it was my team, the Lakers, or if it was the Raptors, hell no, we would not give him that contract, right? But so two things can be right. He deserves the contract because he's an athlete that worked his ass off to get the bag, and he earned it. Yes, it wasn't a loyalty thing either. It wasn't like he had some relations with the Rockets front office or anything.
Yeah.
They felt like he deserved the contract and they gave it to him. Here's the second thing. That's right. That's the only team that should have given him that contract was the Rockets.
Yeah.
That's why I like it in that sense.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this. Looking at the contract, my point is that if you're using it deserve, the player fought his way for his contract, like you said.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the word that it should be used is that his play does not match his contract.
Yeah, that's
That's what I'm saying. That's right. That's the fact. His play does not match his contract. His play hasn't matched his contract for the last 2 years. The one he got right now. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the contract. I'm not saying take away his money and all that stuff, right? He got his money, whatever. I respect that. But I am not paying Fred $40 million a year.
Yeah, so your team, you don't want to pay Fred.
I'm not paying, like, even if I'm looking at a lot of teams, I'm not paying it. Obviously, Rockets could take the hit.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
That's why I'm saying the only team that should have given him the contract was the Rockets.
Yeah, but still, that doesn't mean he's a 40 million player.
They brought him in mainly to mentor.
Yeah, to mentor and lead, right?
Udoka is their coach, so he wants a proper guy in there. They need to get off the salary cap floor, right? So that's what, even giving Fred $43 million, they still have 24 in space, and we'll get into the other signings in a second. And that's why I don't hate this contract, right? Because like even if I'm a Rockets fan, it's like, what are we gonna do with the money anyways, right? He's here to help Amen Thompson. He's here to help Jalen Green. He's here to help Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr.
Yeah, he's gonna help the young guys develop
with defensive stuff. So that's why you can't say like, not you. I'm just saying like you can't say, because they had to get rid of the salary cap floor anyways. It's a 3-year contract. They're not gonna be good in 3 years. Guess what? He'll be off the Bucks, or the cap goes up a lot, and you could afford to buy him out on his last year, or you can move him on for 1 year to a different team, depending on how he performs in the Rockets as well.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying that people are saying that his play, that people saying who doesn't deserve a contract, yeah, like you said, I agree with you. But I'm saying the people who say that the play doesn't match the contract.
Yeah, which is
they're right too.
Yeah, they're right. That's what I'm saying. Two things could be right.
Yeah. So that's the thing with that. Fred, Raptors, thank you for not doing this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thank you. All right. No,
I'm gonna give you the floor here.
No disrespect no disrespect to Fred. I don't want you back for that. You ain't helping us win with that, right?
But I'm gonna also give you the floor to thank him for being a Raptor.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you have to.
I respect Fred. Like, he got a championship. He's done a lot for the organization. He was basically the team leader for us after Kyle Lowry left.
Even but when Kawhi left, he was a key factor.
He was a key factor, right? Like
in the bubble run.
In the bubble run, he was a key factor to getting us up to that point. And then All-Star, right? Like, he's considered like he's gonna be loved next year when he returns to Toronto.
Yeah.
Right. He's gonna have his video tribute. He's gonna have his standing ovation and all that. So
Does
like, there's no, and then that's fully deserved. That's well deserved, right? But
does
there just comes a time where you have to move on,
yeah, exactly.
right?
In this case, yeah, I agree with you. The Raptors should not have not given the contract.
I don't
Thankfully,
even know
they
why.
didn't.
I don't even know why
30
they offered a
million.
30 million one.
They obviously will get into the Raptors after we talk about the Rockets. But quick question about Fred VanVleet before we move on to Dylan Brooks. Jersey raised in the rafters. Yes or no?
No.
But if there's a Ring of Honor, then yes.
Ring of Honor, yes, but there's no jersey.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk about more of that stuff later. But Dylan Brooks, why is it that the worst contract? In your
I
opinion?
don't trust him. I genuinely do not trust him.
Trust him in what way?
His play, his attitude. Those are the only two things I look at, really.
Yeah, I'm surprised it was a 4-year 20 mil. I thought it would be like a 2-year 20 mil. Did Dylan Brooks get a lot of hate, and he deserved? I'm not saying it wasn't deserved, but people forget he's also a really good defender. His shot fell off for sure. Those early Memphis days, last year especially, like not this past season, the season before, his shot was falling, right? We watched him in Oregon. We're like, oh, Canadian, whatever, right? And then obviously we saw him this year. He played the villain role. 4 years, 20 mil. Again, the only team that should have paid him were the Rockets, and they did.
I don't like his 4 years. I don't.
I don't like the 4 years. I like if it was 2 years, then I would have been fine with it.
2 years, yeah, I would
2
have been
years,
okay with
20,
it. But this
yeah.
is the worst signing so far by an NBA team this offseason. This
Again,
free agency.
he was brought in. He wanted a bag. He got his bag. Again, deserved contract in that sense because he negotiated his contract, right? You blame the Rockets for giving him that contract. You can't blame Dylan Brooks for accepting a contract. But I guess he was brought in to show the defensive ways again because you brought in Ime Udoka as your head coach. There's a reason why probably Udoka wanted him, is to show the ropes of defense because you saw the Rockets last year for a little bit. You may have seen they're super young. No defense was really there. That's it. They brought in vets. You brought a quality vet. You brought in Mav vet, I guess. So yeah, this, to be honest, this Rockets team is gonna be something interesting to watch a little bit, just to see what the hell they're gonna do, like what lineups are they gonna run. But the other guy they brought in was Jock Landale. I think that's a good pickup.
Yeah, that's a good big. He's
4 years.
he's just a good hustler,
You go,
and he did well for the Suns though.
and then you could
The
trade him.
Nuggets series.
It's a contract you could trade, in my opinion, if he
Yeah,
obviously plays
Lando's
well.
a good piece to add for sure.
And then you also got Jeff Green on a 1 year after winning a championship.
That's just
That's just a mentor.
That's just presence.
That's just which is fine. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that move. Exactly.
Yeah. So go on to other teams because a bunch more of the signings happened.
Yeah. So that's the Rockets. Let's transition to the Raptors because we just talked about Fred VanVleet.
Hey, Raptors.
Okay,
Why
so-
the hell are you giving Jakob Poeltl $20 million a year for the next 4 years? That's question number one. If
Okay.
it,
Well, you ruined my transition, but
Huh?
my transition was gonna be Dennis Schroeder, but I'll let you go with that.
we'll talk about Dennis Schroeder. What the hell, man? You didn't give you wanted to give VanVleet $30 million a year and you dropped $20 million a year on Poeltl. You guys were nowhere last year. Yes, you were a little bit better with Poeltl because he gives you stability at the bigs, right? At
The
the five
advanced
spot.
stats favored.
Yeah,
that.
and it showed that Raptors improved. Still garbage compared to everyone else in the East, especially, right? We're still garbage compared to Boston. We're still garbage compared to Milwaukee, right? You ain't going anywhere.
You haven't. Let me get. Do you have an issue more so the 4 years or the 20 mil?
The 4 years.
Would
I
you
would
prefer 2 years and an option?
2 years. I was like, for me it was 15 mil max. I wasn't going over 15 mil, and then obviously free agents, everyone gets overpaid. That's just how it is now.
Yeah.
Right. 4 years is just too long, man. It has to. If it was 20 mil, I was going 2 years, nothing over that. If it was 15 mil, I could have chucked in like a third, like a player option or something.
How
like a team
much,
option.
as a Raptor fan, how much? Obviously, I already know your answer. How much do you want to believe that you want to be wrong in this?
100%.
It's only because like
I don't see this team being good, right? We did well replacing VanVleet with Dennis Schroeder, which we signed for around 13 million a year.
Okay, so let's transition to that as well. You
He's
lose Fred VanVleet, you instantly replace him with Dennis Schroeder. 2 years, 13 mil a year. I
like
believe.
12.7.
Yeah. Is there a little downgrade there in shooting? For sure, because Fred VanVleet was still, he struggled last year, but overall career as a Raptor was a quality 3-point shooter. they're the same age. I didn't realize. I thought Dennis Schroeder was older. But Dennis Schroeder, obviously, as a Laker fan who watched him, I loved watching him. I know you'll love watching him. He was one of your favorite Lakers. Defensively, you're going to have a menace, which is literally his name, Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, I know. Like Dennis
Full
Schroeder is
court
good.
pressure and everything. The thing is that you need shooting on the side of things. How surprised will you be if the Raptors perform to what the Raptors did when they lost to the Sixers in the first round?
That's their ceiling.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, how surprised would you be if they finish top 5?
I'll be a little bit surprised because Boston.
Because the Knicks did the same thing. They were great, shot the bed last year, and then this past year they went good again.
Yeah, no, but the Knicks also changed the roster a little bit. They added in Jalen Brunson. They added in a legit stud, right?
Yeah.
What we did is we replaced Fred VanVleet with Dennis Schroeder. No knock on Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder is good, and I was happy that we got him because we replaced him.
Because clearly your direction is
Because
trying to make the playoffs.
they're trying to make the playoffs,
And you didn't want to have a situation where you have no point guard.
Yeah,
And you
and
replaced
then
it well.
we replaced
in
it
that
well,
sense.
and you did well there. So for what you're doing well. The issue is what you're doing is the issue.
Okay, so
What you're doing is trying to make the playoffs.
you also signed, because there's big news that came out today regarding the Raptors, which I told you before we hit record. Before that, though, Jalen McDaniels, I think that's a quality
That's
wing,
just
a
a
quality
nice piece
depth
off the bench. Yeah,
Otto Porter should be healthy this year. That's another option, 3-and-D, right? But here was the big news coming out from Sportsnet's Michael Grange. Teams are inquiring. I'll say word for word. I don't want to mess this up. It is Michael Grange. An interesting player to monitor as the NBA transaction market heats up is Raptors Pascal Siakam. Keep hearing his name out there per multiple sources. Atlanta still interested. Something to watch. We also got breaking news for the NHL, but we'll get into that in the NHL talk. We'll start off with that, but and some soccer news as well. But going back, Pascal Siakam, if he does get traded, how confusing are you now? Because you did give Dennis Schroeder his contract, which is an easily tradable contract.
well, Dennis Schroeder,
But the Pirtle
contract. Yeah, then what the hell are you doing? I don't know. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
If you trade Pascal Siakam.
I don't know. Yeah, like, what the hell are you guys doing then? Like, unless you get someone that's win now or in return.
So Atlanta is the one that makes the most sense because they lost John Collins, which is why Michael Green said Atlanta. DeJounte Murray's on the last year of his deal, I believe. That's the only one I could think of on the spot. And to throw in a guy, because obviously it's not just Pascal Siakam or DeJounte Murray in that sense. It would probably be DeAndre Hunter, right? Because they want to keep AJ Griffin. They want to keep Onyeka Okongwu.
Yeah.
Right? So the only one that makes sense is DeAndre Hunter, but then you have OG Anunoby, who also wants a role that he shouldn't have with ball handling and playmaking.
I'm just saying this: if you trade Pascal Siakam after giving Jakob Poeltl that contract, you're just getting dysfunctional to me.
Yeah.
Right? There's something wrong in the front office if that happens, unless
there's something cooking with
unless
GM.
he's cooking something. I don't know. Like, he just randomly did something with Kawhi Leonard, but I feel like Masai's just trying to do everything like the Kawhi Leonard trade now, right? Lowry should have been traded. Lowry should have been gone.
Fred.
Oh yeah, Fred's gone for free. Lowry's gone for basically free, right? So there were chances where those two could give us a significant return, but we didn't take that opportunity because we overvalue the hell of our players. That's the issue.
Okay, so right now your potential lineup is Dennis Schroeder. No, it's not Gary. Okay. OG, Scotty, Pascal, Pirtle, right? And defensively, it sounds like a pretty good roster. And then on the bench, you do have some depth, to be fair, right?
Yeah, there's
depending
Gary
on how
Trent
the coaching
Jr.
goes. Gary Trent and Malachi should be your point guard. You got Jalen McDaniels, Otto Porter, Precious Achua, and then Christian Koloko still needs to develop. So,
and then there's Grady Dick, and then there's Chris Boucher.
So to be fair, this Raptors team for me is interesting to watch. Yeah, are they a championship contender? No. But can they be a top 6 seed again? I will not be surprised if they're like a 6 seed.
Let's see. Okay.
Now, but their ceiling is first round. Like, I agree with that.
Yeah. Let's see. Like, is Milwaukee? Yes. Boston? Yes. Philly? Yes. Miami? Yes. Especially if they get Dame. Cavaliers? Yes. I give it to the Knicks still too. Am I missing a team? Like, who made the playoffs?
The other two teams that made it were... Who was it? Miami, Atlanta. Is that 8?
Miami. I'm talking about who made top 6.
Oh, then those the top. Miami was in top 6 though.
Yeah, no. So it was Milwaukee, Boston, Philly,
Brooklyn, but
Brooklyn.
take Brooklyn out.
Yeah, Brooklyn's out. So then Brooklyn plays Miami, right? Whoever made the 6 replaced Brooklyn with Miami. They're still better than this team.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm definitely interested just because it's a new coach, right? We don't know what his style is, and you obviously don't know him as because we haven't seen him in the NBA as a head coach, right? Obviously, you're hoping that you're dead wrong that like this team can be something.
Thing is, I lost hope, right? Because I was hopeful these last couple of seasons, right? I was really hopeful in the Sixers. Like, yes, we got the Sixers. We actually have a chance of doing something. We didn't do anything. I was like, all right, whatever, bounce back. Scotty and these younger guys got their little bit of playoff experience. We'll be back. Didn't do shit again, right? So I'm losing the hope. I'm not getting any false hope this year.
Okay, so in this case, you're whatever good they do is gonna genuinely surprise you.
Genuinely, yes.
Okay.
If they're a top 6 seed, I'll be
it's just
surprised.
like Pascal's,
If they make the playoffs through the play-in, okay, I was like, okay, that's kind of that's the range I'm expecting.
you're expecting to be a top. You're expecting to be a 7-8 at the highest is what you're expecting.
My the highest is 7-8.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, the Pascal news kind of throws stuff off now. I don't know what's happening.
Now it just
I don't know if it's just like Jakob Pertl wanted his money, and like I said, he's a good center. You needed a center. Obviously, not the time for that center. But all right, let's move on to you saw the news I was talking about, right? On score.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll get to the NHL after. We'll start off with that. But what team do you want to move to next? Who do you think won free agency?
the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, so you want to go there?
Yeah,
Okay. So the Lakers had some question marks to do, Phil, and like you said, they waived Mo Bamba. They did not pick up the team option of Malik Beasley. What else up? Okay, so they had cap space there. Threw me off, but when we mentioned Gabe Vincent left earlier, we didn't mention which team. It was the Lakers that gave him the 3-year, 33 mil total contract, right? And let me just find them on this list. So this is what the Lakers did. They signed Gabe Vincent to a 3-year, $33 million total contract. They got rid of Troy Brown in terms of he just walked in free agency. You replace him, ironically, to the team from the same team. It's like essentially a trade. Was Torian Prince, 1 year, $4.5 million. You re-signed Rui Hachimura, which they needed to do, with 3-year, $51 million. And then on day one of free agency, you finished it out by signing Cam Reddish to a 2-year contract. I think it's a player option on the second year on a vet minimum. Okay. And yesterday, at the time of this recording, they brought in the same contract they gave to Cam Reddish was the same contract they gave to Jackson Hayes, which means they have the 8th, 9th, and 10th pick of that 2019 draft on their roster right now. And to top it off, they brought back Austin Reeves to help. Some people thought he was in a command 4 years, 100 mil. He only got 4 years, 56 million extension. There's some incentives on that.
that's 14 million a year.
Yeah.
But then here's the biggest surprise for me.
Oh, D'Angelo Russell, sorry. 2 years, 37 million.
How the hell did you guys? So I'm like this. There was D'Lo, there was Reeves, and there was Rui.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way you get all 3 back.
I was
right?
fine with D'Lo walking if we would have gotten Fred, but like you said, how
Yeah.
would we had gotten Fred? Not for 40, but like maybe for
Yeah,
like
no, but
25
I'm
to
saying-
30.
I was like, there's no way you get all 3 back, and you managed to get all 3 back. Plus, you added Gabe Vincent and Cam Reddish, who you're hoping for a bounce back, and then obviously, you having Phil Handy.
Which is why I'm excited because
Yeah.
we saw what he did with, one of the reasons why, but Malik Monk, look what he did, right?
Yeah.
Now he's a key piece for the Sacramento Kings and killing it there.
Lonnie Walker had
Lonnie
spurts.
Walker, who's still a free agent, surprisingly. I thought we had him still, but how he went off in the playoffs for a couple of games there.
And he was your best player in the first half of the season.
The first beginning before he got hurt, right? So that's why I'm like Cam Reddish is a promising player. He just didn't. I don't know what happened in Atlanta, and then obviously Thibs just didn't want to play him for whatever reason. He goes to Portland. He had an opportunity. He was okay there as well. Lakers were always in on him, and we obviously got him on a free agent. I will not be surprised if Cam Reddish is what he was supposed to be from Duke. And then on top of that, Jackson Hayes I'm a little skeptical because he's shown attitude issues with New Orleans. Like when in his rookie year, he literally had like this video. I don't know if you've seen it. It was like him like pissed off he didn't get into the rookie
Oh
showcase.
yeah, I saw that.
Like he was a psycho in that
Yeah.
essentially. And he's obviously an athletic center, younger. Obviously, Lakers thankfully got younger, and that was obviously a key piece there. Yes, I'm surprised with D'Lo getting less than 20 mil on this contract. I don't know if it's the second year's an option, but he said 2 years. The Austin Reeves one was surprising because all the reports I saw were people were ready to give him 4 years, 100
Yeah,
mil.
I thought he was gone.
Right? I saw the Lakers offered 56. I'm like, okay, the Spurs are gonna throw in 100 mil, someone like that, right? Like
Yeah.
someone that type of team. Rockets were in on him for that reason as well. I'm like 4 years. I'm like, okay, and the rumors were Lakers were gonna match, which means D'Lo wasn't gonna come back. The fact that no one offered, because he's an RFA, so even teams that offered, I guess it's up to, I don't know how RFAs fully work. Maybe he's like, yeah, nah.
Well, you still had the opportunity to match.
Yeah.
Right. And I was expecting like Orlando or like Houston teams with like cap space to like throw like a Fred Bay at him, right?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that didn't really happen. Because
Yeah. So
it just felt like you guys were in control the whole time.
Yeah. So the fact we got it back for 56, and listen, if he had gone 4 years 100, it would have been expensive
It's hell expensive.
because this was his breakout year. He's an undrafted guy, right? He's probably the next guy if he continues to this trajectory to have the Fred VanVleet career path. And yeah, he brought him back. We brought back D'Lo, so and then we also picked up Jared Vanderbilt's option as well to round that off. So as a Laker fan, I'm excited, but as a fan of sports and with the Jays and everyone, when we get excited for something, Colts, shit doesn't go the right way.
That's why I'm not doing anything for Raptors.
So, but in this case, I have a genuine reason for excitement, right?
What do you think you're a lock in the top 6?
We should be.
All right. I only have 3 locks in the West for top 6, which is you guys, the Suns, and the Nuggets. Those are all my 3 locks.
Yeah.
That I'm like fully confident that you guys will be in a top 6.
It all depends on,
six
again,
spot.
the key thing is AD healthy, right? That's the big question mark. Because if not, it's the same Clipper situation. LeBron, older in age. But I'm just glad we finally did not break up our roster like we did in that bubble.
Yeah, you have a little bit of continuity.
We have continuity. We got playoff experience. We added in, again, Gabe Vincent, who literally went to the finals. Now, is there a little bit of a question mark because he's part of that Heat culture? How is he going to do outside of that? Right? And
I'm not worried just because he doesn't have to do
too much, yeah.
He doesn't have to do much.
Good backup guard because we know D'Lo's probably starting. It sucks that we're missing. I love Schroeder. I wish we could have run back somehow, but I'm happy he got his contract with you guys. But yeah, I'm scared because I'm getting hopes up here. This is definitely a championship caliber team. For me, I still want another center and maybe that scoring off the bench. So I don't want to have like a high scoring starting lineup. Like it's D'Lo, Reeves. Instead of Hachimura, I still start Vando, but adjusted accordingly throughout the year, right? Because then off the bench, we had to rely on Gabe Vincent strictly because you're not going to get that from Jackson Hayes. Cam Reddish, we still need to see him do something.
You want Rui on the bench, so maybe he'll provide that.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm still want to look. Can we get a bucket getter like a Lou Will guy, like Lonnie Walker? Can we somehow? I wouldn't mind bringing or a 3-point shooter like Malik Beasley. Can we bring him back on a cheap contract? But I doubt that will happen now. But yeah, enough of the Laker talk. But I love what they did. Let's talk another big contract that happened. The Warriors. The biggest question mark was Draymond Green. Yeah. Now, to many people, it was probably not a question mark. They assumed that he was going to come back anyways. But the Warriors, they re-signed Draymond Green to a 4-year, $100 million extension. And did they do anything else? No. So that's the only move they did, it seems like. And they had no choice. I think they had to. If they really wanted to be a championship contender next year, this move had to be done.
Yeah, like he's locker room presence. He knows the system. He fits the system, right? It's just the plays. He knows the playbook, and this Warriors playbook is complicated.
He's a
right?
smart-ass player.
The timing of those
pick and rolls,
dribble handoffs, all that stuff needs to be perfect to get Curry.
And he's that playmaker, and you still have the playmaker with Chris Paul
because
too.
This playbook is made for Curry and Clay to get 1 second.
Yeah.
Right, because they could shoot in 1 second.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why everything it's like a NFL playbook, right? An NFL play, everything has to be right.
Yeah.
And then Draymond Green is, if you think about it, is the quarterback of it. realistically.
Those people that hate Draymond Green isn't because of his play. It's because of his attitude.
Yeah,
Like what his antics, not attitude.
his antics. Yeah,
And listen, like obviously, does it piss me off when I watch it? Yes, for sure. But Draymond Green is a fine, great, whatever adjective that synonym of that basketball player. Smart, one of the smartest basketball players. It's just the antics that piss people off, and I agree with that. But outside of that, like the Kings were ready to offer him a bag.
yeah.
Like the Kings were ready to offer him that bag. I don't know if it was how true it was,
And also,
but
obviously,
the Kings, if the Kings were to somehow get him, oh my god, that team, I would have loved the Kings for sure.
yeah. Then also, we're talking about what he does offensively, which is underrated.
Yeah,
And obviously,
his
his
defensive
actual
impact.
game is
Defense.
his defensive impact.
Yeah, so they're still, and you know, if they fix out their home record, they obviously added in Chris Paul, which is still a weird fit for me, but you still have that leadership and defensive impact. Steph off the ball a little bit more again. Still a championship contender in my eyes. I'm still gonna say
Yeah,
it. I feel like they'll add more moves.
They're still in the playoffs. For
Another
sure.
big contract that was signed. Let's stick with the W's. Wizards. They traded Monty Morris to Pittsburgh Pistons for his future second, but they extended Kyle Kuzma
That's
4 years, 102.
that's 25.5 per year.
Look at you and your math.
No, it says here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm too good.
Because I don't have that in front of me. And
Yeah. Wizards is like
just why not?
just there's no impact, right? Like it's not gonna impact them.
That was like another team if Fred they had given Fred a bag, it would have been
I want to like it for the Wizards. I feel
more
like
so because they had Jordan Poole.
because Fred and Kuzma could have done something to get him out of the little like top 5 pick range.
True. Yeah,
That's
because
why.
Kuzma's that good. Listen, obviously people hate on Kuzma too because like with the Lakers he was up and down, but he killed it he not killed it, but he was pretty good
He was
for
pretty good for the
the
Wizards.
Wizards. I'm surprised he came back a little bit just because I thought he wasn't gonna. He was kind of open to saying like I don't really want to be back because it's Washington and he wants to be in LA because he seems like a South Cali boy. But he came back. Obviously the bag was there and why not, right? Him and Jordan Poole let him cook something and bring his value up for trade purposes down the line. Nothing really else.
Yeah, nothing.
He
else.
got a championship. What other incentive does he really have, right?
Yeah. Should we head over to one of the other big news? Dallas Mavericks
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Go.
re-signed Kyrie Irving to a 42 million per year contract
So
for the next 3 years.
Keep in mind that this is less than what Fred got.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If I was Dallas,
You had no choice.
you had no choice, right? Like you traded a lot to get this guy.
Yeah.
He is a great player. Obviously, Kyrie Irving's great.
You
You have
just-
a second.
Ball handler.
The usage rate of Luka drops. Yes, did you guys struggle? Obviously, because you fell off somehow.
Yeah.
But I liked what you guys did in the draft. There was a real question mark. The big question mark of the trade was if Kyrie Irving was going to come back,
Yeah.
right? And now he's back. Now you're going to have a full off season, full preseason training camp with your roster,
Yeah.
right? Like you should be ready to get go from the beginning.
The two teams realistically who was gonna go to were the Lakers, and they pretty much announced that we're gonna bring guys back, and the Suns, and that died down once Beal got traded, right? And here's the thing, the question mark for Kyrie for me is, are you gonna play ball, or are we gonna have some of this bullshit shit that we've been seeing for the last couple of years?
Yeah,
That's it. If Kyrie's balling, I have no issues.
He's been
I
pl-
think Mavericks should come back from this. I still think they need to have more defense because they brought back Seth Curry, straight shooter, which is good. You got the spacing, and they also brought in Dante Exum's back in the league. They signed him to a guaranteed contract, and they also re-signed Dwight Powell.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little bit more confident because now you could run it from the beginning, right? There's no like obviously there's a little bit time to adjust. Yeah, you choked. There's no, but now you have an edge to play.
Now
with
you have a training camp under your belt.
you have a
you'll
you
year.
have some motivation. You have
Yeah.
something to play for now, right?
Listen,
because
I just think I don't know how they choked, but outside of that, I think they'll be fine.
They should be fine, yeah.
But yeah, so he not a surprise signing by me. I thought he was gonna come back to the Mavericks anyways, and yeah. So let's move on.
Milwaukee re-signed
Yeah, that's the next.
Brook
big news.
Lopez and Chris Middleton.
Yeah, so Brook Lopez was linked to the Rockets before Dylan Brooks signed. Obviously, I see why,
Yeah,
but obviously he decided to come back on a 2 years, $24 million a year. and then on top of that, you brought back Chris Middleton on a 3 years, 102, right? So, um, again, needed moves. Otherwise, how are they gonna replace him? Like,
Yeah, they couldn't really replace him,
there's
right?
no one on the market unless you really gonna, or were you really gonna
And
trade for Dame Lillard?
they've
But
been
yeah,
Bucks for a while too, right? Like, this is. Do you think, like, the Bucks are the same team
yeah,
as they were the championship team,
yeah,
right? Like, they needed these guys, right? Obviously, sometimes you don't, like, it's free agency re-signing stuff. You're gonna overpay, right?
yeah,
Like, obviously, your own team is gonna, like, the players gonna make the most money if you re-sign them,
yeah,
right? So that's why I'm like, I don't hate these moves just because you couldn't replace them,
yeah,
right? And then you won a championship with these guys. Injuries also screwed you over a little
yeah.
bit. So as long as you guys are healthy,
They'll be fine.
you should be
Like
fine.
Drew Holiday had a great year this year, deserved All Star, and Chris Middleton hopefully is healthy. And yeah, there should be. I still would want to pick them as my favorite from coming from the East, but it's still gonna be tough. I just need to see it play out, but they have the continuity. But okay, I don't think there's any other big news, so let's just skim through what some teams did here. Um, Off the bat, so Bucks. Okay, Bulls brought back Kobe White. They also brought back Chicago's own Javon Carter.
Yeah.
So and they already brought back Nikola Vucevic last time we
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. Their biggest question mark is, are they gonna trade away Zach LaVine because of the whole that could be a Harden impact. That's what potential Harden thing there.
Yeah.
I also saw something about maybe Tyler Hero could be linked there as well. But Cavaliers actually they made quite a few moves though. Karis LeVert,
They resigned.
they brought in George Niang,
Yeah.
so he quality
Max Strus.
stretch shooter, and they did a sign and trade for Max Strus, to a 4 year, 63 million. He got his bag. 4 year, 63 million.
Yeah.
Heat receive a second round pick. Spurs receive, so they lost Jetty Osman, and then Lamar Stevens, a second round pick to the Spurs. Max Strus, let's see how they got shooters down there. Cleveland obviously need to step up because they obviously choked last year against the
They did
Knicks.
choke.
But yeah, Celtics extended Porzingis, not a surprise. They also signed Canadian O'Shea Brissett. Clippers traded cash to the Pistons. That's fine, don't care. Let's talk about the extensions actually.
Yeah,
Grizzlies is now there's a new highest paid player on the team, and it's not John Morant.
It's Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane signed a 5 year, 207 million max extension. I'm a little surprised that it was a 207. Great player.
He's a great player. He's been
Because Jaws was 5
performing.
years, 197, I believe.
Yeah, no,
So-
but like inflation.
Inflation. Hey, like I said, he got his bag. I think. What else was it? They're gonna let him.
They're not.
He was their heart.
he-
He's their not their heart and soul, but like he was their main.
He's a key piece. He's
Yeah,
a key piece
so-
for them. Another extension, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Obviously, yes, injuries are an issue, but he is a really talented player. Charlotte's #1 guy. You have to bring him back.
5 years, what, 260?
Yeah,
I think those are
something.
including with add-ons, but
Yeah, but yeah, like him, Brandon Miller, obviously all that
there's no
stuff.
one there.
There's
for
no
them to
one
pay.
there,
He's
like,
their guy. He's
You're
the marketing guy.
You gotta
there.
give a guy.
So,
You gotta give a guy the bag. You gave him
Yeah.
the bag. There's nothing wrong with that move.
okay, let's move on. Grizzlies, Derrick Rose, going back to Memphis where he played college ball. 2 year contract there. Heat brought back Josh Richardson. He also brought back Kevin Love. And I feel bad for this guy, but Heat also traded away Victor Oladipo.
Yeah,
Dude had a crazy research, like emergence in Indy, right? Proved why he was the number 2 overall pick. Then injuries just killed him after.
he also added Josh Richardson and Thomas Bryant to 2-year deals.
Yeah. Kings re-signed Trey Lyles. Lakers, we already talked about. Magic brought in Joe Ingles. Nets extended their guys.
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson to a 4-year, 108 million. Obviously needed to be done.
Yeah.
But they also just signed, literally right now, Lonnie Walker.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
So Lonnie Walker's here for 1 year. That happened right now. Nets traded away Joe Harris and 2 second-round picks to the Pistons. Literally a cap dump, nothing else to that.
Yeah.
Nuggets brought back Reggie Jackson. They re-signed DeAndre Jordan. Pacers. Oh, another extension. Pacers extended Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton. That was a must.
Huh?
That was a must. Yeah.
I love Tyrese Halliburton. I love
He's a
the
really
way
good player.
He's a really good player. All-star last year.
Yeah.
Again, he's their building block. That one team I'm excited for, the Pacers, because we forgot to mention this contract. Bruce Brown.
Oh, yeah. Bruce Brown getting added
He
to
got the
Pacers,
bag.
yeah.
Like he was supposed to be Lakers or the Mavericks
Yeah.
on the mid level, but obviously it's a team option, so this is good for the Pacers. If Bruce Brown doesn't perform to this contract, they could just be like, yeah, walk away. But 2 years, 45 million, well deserved contract by him. You bring in a championship experience plus defense. The Pacers are gonna be a scary, like not scary, like they'll be like the OKC Thunder in my opinion next year.
They'll be on a come up for sure.
They'll be in the OKC Thunder vibe next year for me.
Yeah.
But there's that. Pelicans obviously must re-sign Herb Jones, elite defensive player. We talked about the Raptors. Spurs brought back Trey Jones, Julian Champagny. Okay, let's talk about the Suns. We didn't talk about the Suns, so let's talk about them right now.
Yeah, Suns, they brought back Josh Okogie, which one of the big ones. They already have Campaign. They got Keita Bates-Diop, Drew Eubanks, right? They got all these guys just to
Shemezi
fill out the
Metu.
roster. They re-signed Damian Lee, who performed well for them last year.
Yuta Watanabe.
Yuta Watanabe is a good pickup as well because he shot the 3 ball really good last year, and
Defense.
former Raptor, so I know he has good defense because
Uh,
he hustles as well.
Yeah, and then they just signed Eric Gordon. So this is the definition of players want to play with championship teams that we were mentioning earlier when we were having the name talk. Yeah, Suns filling out their roster nicely. They still have the big four. They're not trading away DeAndre Ayton, what it looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm definitely
they definitely filled out the roster pretty decently. They did it. I don't hate it right now. Obviously, are these guys like the best players? No, but it's still enough to support your big four.
yeah. So do I put them ahead of the Nuggets yet? Definitely they're higher up than we previously thought for the trade. But yeah, we're bringing in complementary pieces, right? So Drew Eubanks had a pretty good year to the point where he was outplaying Yusuf Nurkic at the Trailblazers. So
Yeah,
obviously it's a good Jock Landale replacement because that's who it's gonna be. So yeah, the Suns, watch out for them. I think they are definitely probably on paper the best out of the West on paper.
yeah.
But I'm still giving the edge to the Nuggets because we actually see it happen. Obviously we still have a lot more to talk about, but quickly, T-Wolves, Troy Brown, Shake Wilton, and yesterday what happened?
They got Nikhil Alexander-Walker
Re-signed, I believe.
re-signed, and
Oh, Patrick Beverly is a Sixer now.
yeah, that's a trade.
No.
I mean, signed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bucks, we talked about. Cavs, we just talked about. Clippers, Russell Westbrook, we mentioned earlier. 2 years, $8 million. Heat, we talked about the Thomas Bryant signing. Jazz traded Damian Jones to the Cavs. Okay, so here's actually a theme that happened yesterday because I'm on the Kings right now. They re-signed Alex Len. They extended Harrison Barnes.
They extended Sabonis.
They extended Sabonis, who took less money,
Yeah,
reportedly. But they signed this guy named Sasha Vezenkov, who was the EuroLeague MVP, to a 3-year, $20 million contract. So that's
that's a fair bet.
fair bit. And he's a sharpshooter.
Yeah,
Sharpshooter.
he's a new.
He's not the only one that from EuroLeague that came this year. I've never seen like EuroLeague signings like this.
Yeah.
For a while, like I've never heard of this guy, obviously, because it was
He's
EuroLeague.
Peja Stojakovic Jr.
Where'd you hear that from? Or are you just assuming?
No, he might be.
Oh.
That's what he might be for though.
Yeah. So
If he's a sharp
yeah,
shooter.
he's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
He was an EuroLeague MVP. So there have been I think the Thunder signed one, and someone else signed one, which we'll probably get into quickly. Next traded Obi Toppin to the Pacers. So this is why I'm saying the Pacers are a team to watch out for.
Yeah.
For 2 seconds. Knicks also brought the Villanova boys together. Dante DiVincenzo, 4-year, $50 million contract. So hefty payday for him compared to the Warriors. Magic brought back Mo Wagner. Mavericks we talked about. Nets also brought back Dennis Smith Jr. They traded away Patty Mills to the Rockets, who also got flipped to the OKC Thunder.
Yeah.
Raptors, Rockets, we've talked. Spurs. This is the other guy. Spurs bought Sandro Mamukelashvili.
From EuroLeague, right?
EuroLeague. And the Thunder signed the other one, Vasily Micic. And they also brought in Jack White. Don't know who that is. No disrespect. Miles Bridges just today at this moment, just an hour
Their
ago,
qualifying offer.
qualifier offer signed. He'll be a UFA next year. Cody Zeller to the Pelicans. And then, like I said, Jordan Clarkson extension as well.
And so that basically rounds up.
That should cover up the NBA. One last thing of the NBA. Board of Governors, they're going to vote. Let me just pull up exactly.
So that covers up every free agent signing so far.
Yeah.
And all these moves.
Oh, of course, Duarte also got traded.
Yeah. There's a lot of moves. Obviously, it's not like 2019 was a goated year.
The ones that we wanted to talk about, we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So according to Shams, the Board of Governors will vote on July 11 to approve 2 changes that would begin in the 2023-2024 offseason, this season, which is this coming season. In game penalty flops would result in a technical free throw.
Yeah.
Right? So they're going to trial that, I guess, during the preseason or something. and then a seconds coaches challenge awarded if first challenge is successful. I feel like that's a must.
Yeah, I feel like you
I
gotta add
thought
that
it should
one.
have been like one per half type of thing,
But no, I like
but
that. I like that.
this is fine too for
If you
me.
if you lose it, you lose it, right?
The flop one is like, okay, what's obviously we've seen flops.
Obviously, yeah, flops.
Does it have to be a VAR check type
Yeah,
thing?
no, but when you think about it, if you just say it up, just say the word flops, you're like, okay, yeah, sick change, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, there's gonna be like,
How is it gonna
what
be
is it
integrated?
considered? What is it? What is the definition of a flop?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the biggest question mark, right? And I feel like there's gonna be a lot of commentary games, right? Like we're like, oh, what is a flop? Is that a flop? Right? All these it's like a ref's judgment, right?
Yeah.
One ref might consider this as a flop, another ref might not, right? So that it's gonna be that type of call.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Quick rumors that I'm just seeing right now. Mavericks are interested in Matisse Thybulle and Grant Williams, which is what they need. Defense.
Yeah.
So perfect guys to go after. Apparently the Houston Rockets were blindsided because they were supposed to get Brook Lopez, but he ended up going back.
Yeah.
And yeah, there have been some whispers about Jarrett Allen being advertised. And we already mentioned Pascal Siakam. Utah Jazz are expected to be interested in Damian Lillard. And yeah, Brooklyn and San Antonio are potential landing spots for Tyler Hero. Yeah, so let's move on to the NHL. A lot to talk about still, and I think we're over an hour in right now.
We're like an hour 15 almost.
Okay, so let's get to the NHL. A lot of moves happened there. Let's start with the breaking news.
Hour 11 actually. But
Yeah, so let's get into the breaking news. It's gonna be a long podcast, so tune in. This is probably gonna be our last long one unless crazy shit happens in the future. But
yeah.
it's the ultimate offseason breakdown. It's got to be long, right? So, Maple Leafs. So, breaking news off the bat: Tyler Bertuzzi has made his decision to sign with the Maple Leafs for 1 year, though.
It's a
$5.5 million.
$5.5 million.
Little surprising because I think he was seeking for a 6x6. Clearly didn't get it because
Yeah.
the cap is shit in the NHL compared to the NBA, which is why the NBA has a better offseason usually. He's coming off a down season, apparently.
Yeah,
He's the nephew of former NHLer Todd Bertuzzi, which we know about a little bit.
It's like for me it's like a Michael Bunting replacement.
Yeah.
Right.
And
They
you
lost
could
Michael
still flip
Bunting.
him if you really need
They
to.
lost Michael Bunting, they wanted to add a winger and they got Tyler Bertuzzi. Tyler Bertuzzi is obviously he's still a decent player, right? It's nothing against him. He struggled obviously last year, but I don't think it's a bad move.
Yeah. It's not too bad. They didn't really add any scoring yesterday. Prove
Yeah.
it year for
Bunting was their
Bertuzzi?
20-goal scorer, so
Yeah,
if
so-
he just hopefully they can match that.
Okay. Let's go to the other news. Eric Carlson requesting a trade.
No doubt.
No doubt about
shock.
it. Problem is, how are they going to move him? It's the cap.
Yeah, the cap
He's making
is big.
11 million. How much are they going to retain? You know, obviously,
They're gonna have to retain,
coming off a Norris winning year.
Bro, they might retain like $6 million.
Yeah,
at
like
least.
obviously Norris winning year, completely dominated offensively as a defenseman. Teams should obviously reach. Obviously, one team was Edmonton, but they don't need him anymore because Matthias Ekholm's there. Florida is another team that was linked to him, I believe. Who knows? Even Boston, but because he lost Dmitry Orlov. But go. You want to just get the Canucks out of the way because it's
Yeah, just start with the Canucks.
all right. Canucks. Congratulations. Jim Benning is no longer there, and they actually had a decent offseason so far.
You didn't play yourselves.
Yeah, so the signings they made so far, Teddy Bluger, 1 year, 1.9 million. Ian Cole, 1 year, 3 million, which is pretty odd to say because normally when we do Canucks signings, it's like 3-year deals.
Yeah,
4-year
right.
deals.
And then there's
And Carson
Soucy.
Soucy, 3 years. Speaking of the 3 year, but this one's more worth it. 9.75 million.
Yeah.
No trade clause on this one.
He's also turning 29, I believe.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is pure, and this is something we didn't mention what the Canucks should be doing.
they
Shitty penalty kill, and this addresses the penalty kill needs for sure.
they definitely fixed the penalty kill needs, right? They
Well, hopefully we could see it during the thing.
yeah, I know, but like on paper.
Yeah.
And then they added in a couple defensemen, one partner for Hronik, whether it be Soucy or Cole. I think it's probably most likely to be Cole, right? And then Soucy, another big defenseman. I think he's from here, right?
No, he played in Seattle. That's why.
Okay, so
We'll check.
yeah, whatever. But Soucy, big guy, could play on both sides, so he might be paired up with Hughes. He is a left defenseman. So leaving that Myers and like whoever we
Alberta.
call up, right?
Yeah.
So it might not even be Hughes Juleson. It could be just Hughes Susi.
Yeah. So Hronik Susi could also make sense as well, like you mentioned. But yeah, this first off, this addresses the penalty killing needs. Third line center Teddy Bluger. Obviously, last year we did technically sign Curtis Lazar for it, but it
And
struggled.
another thing is that you added size, right?
Yeah.
Bluger's big guy,
1 year contract. So
1 year contract, so there's no risk at all.
there's
Same with Ian Cole,
yeah.
right? Susi is low, in my opinion, was a little bit better, and Hughes should, like, he is top four. Like, he should be in a
Yeah.
top four, right? Defense player.
Yeah. The question again is the Canucks. Your start is the biggest thing here.
Your start is the biggest thing, but my biggest thing is that every team stars take them, right? Like their big players take them where they go, right?
Yeah.
These last couple of years, for us is the trio of Demko, Hughes, and Pedersen. These last few years, those three haven't clicked at the same time,
Yeah.
right? The one time they did was when Demko came back from injury last year, and
That was too late.
it was too late. It was unnecessary, and it was no pressure at all.
Yeah.
So if those three click from the beginning, this team has a chance of doing something.
Yeah. So
That's what I ride on now because I think the management has done well enough to fill out the roster defensively
Yeah.
now. And
the signings
third-
make sense.
the third and fourth line signings make sense.
JT Miller signing sure did not make sense.
Yeah.
We'll just
But I'm just basing it off this year,
Yeah.
right? And the penalty kill is addressed and should be improved.
yeah.
Right?
Similar thing what I'm gonna say with the draft. I get the JT Miller signing is done, and it may not be a good signing. And obviously, I'm on Canucks Twitter, and people are going like, "Oh my god, now we're done," because his no move clause is officially kicked in. And who cares at this point, right? Like, if you're a Canucks fan, yes, criticize the move if that's the reason why we're not making the playoffs. So you criticize that, but still support it because you have no choice. He's on your team. Okay? Who knows? Canucks might surprise people and win the cup this year. You guys are going to be the same fans that will freaking
Okay.
jump up.
They're not winning the cup, first of all.
I know
don't
that. I'm just
But
saying, surprise some
but,
people.
Like, Miller's shown good years, right? Yes, he struggled last year, but
Got better when Talker came.
he got better as it went on, right? He had a 99-point year the year before.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not, like, there is the chance where Miller bounces back and plays quality hockey again.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing.
Here's the thing. Management has their coach now. Right?
Yeah, management has their coach. They added in players that will also
Fit the thing.
fit what the coach does, but also fit what they were trying to go after, which is just
A big team that could scale.
a big team. No, but I'm not talking about like locker room wise,
Yeah.
right? They added in players that will actually like work their ass off, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to set the tone, and that's what they did.
Yeah. I like the moves. Obviously, they're left shot D, but it doesn't matter too much. You have Hronik. Tyler Myers could still get moved. There's no one really available in free agency, I believe, unless you want to quickly check. But from what I checked yesterday, they're available. Not too much really.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone really.
Yeah. So the thing is, can this team just click from the beginning? Like you said, the star players.
Unless they somehow get freaking Vladimir Tarasenko.
Yeah. I mean, we're not. But
Yeah, they're not
I'm
getting it.
looking at it defensively. Like offensively, sure, we could still try to maybe find another piece, but the trade market's still there.
I think you need obviously like
I
it's
still
not like
think we need another stud goal scorer if we can.
you need to get for someone like that, someone like good offensively because the forward group, so the lineup probably gonna be Pedersen, Mikheyev, Kuzmenko, and you got Miller second line center, you got Besser, you got Bolivier, you still got Connor Garland as well. So you kind of have like the top two lines formed still, and then the management already filled out the bottom line. Like the fourth line's already set, third line's already halfway set too. So obviously production needs to be better from like our wingers because other than Pedersen and Miller the previous year, there hasn't been great production, right?
Yeah. Key for me is Kuzmenko. Is he gonna drop off? Because it is his second year, and people know who Kuzmenko is now. Now a lot of the goals were really snipes. It was a lot of positioning. So is that really gonna go away? I hope not. Teams are smart. They'll figure it out. Especially guys like Carolina, who obviously upgraded with Dmitry Orlov, which we'll get into. But the other one is, can Besser now be injury free and step up? Connor Garland still might get moved. Who knows, right? And then on the defensive end things, can we get secondary help with Hronik offensively? Right? It can't be just Hughes with like 75
secondary
points.
Like
So,
secondary scoring just got to be better.
yeah, in
right?
general. But I'm saying defensively, like Oliver Ekman Larson was our second point getter,
Yeah, and
and that can't happen.
it wasn't enough too.
Yeah.
So it's tough. For Andrei Kuzmenko, the fact that like it was positioning goals, like he knows where to be on the ice, gives me a little bit of hope that like okay, this is a little bit sustainable, right? And that especially playing with Pedersen and that Pedersen being at that level, who had and then Hughes, people are being able to find them,
Yeah.
right? So I don't if that can that seems like a sustainable way of scoring goals to me, right?
Yeah.
And obviously being those positions, right, you're gonna have a little bit more shooting opportunities as well,
Yeah.
and that just relying on how much of you are a sniper, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no, obviously this management group has shown me so far that outside of the maybe the Miller questionable contract or maybe even the Besser contract, that you know they're able to take risks, they're making moves. You know what? One thing we forgot to mention last time, we mentioned how like during the draft development and all that. Two names we forgot to mention: Sergei Gonchar, Adam Foote,
Yeah, those guys added
elite
in.
defensemen in the NHL themselves,
Yeah,
right? And now you have Gonchar on your development staff and Adam Foote as your assistant coach.
yeah.
So on top of that, you added Ian Cole, Carson Soucy, and these guys will also help guys like Cole McWard, Akito Hiroshi, who we signed right now, by the way,
Willander.
Willander, right? Development camp already
And like
started.
then
So
our second round pick
yeah,
was Hunter. I don't know how to say his last name. It was like
yeah.
Bladskowicz.
So yeah, let's move on from the Canucks just because we're dragging it on. But for once, I'm actually intrigued. But the question is, can they just go off next year?
It's just a start, right?
Yeah,
And good, like at least they don't have to start on that road trip, but they're gonna have to go in very quick. Like after the home game against Edmonton, they have 5 in a row against the road after the
yeah.
schedule release.
All right, July 1st. Let's get going. Nothing. Did anything stand out to you, like the NBA?
My favorite move of the day,
All right,
and
go with
people
that.
might hate it, right? And you might hate it too. I don't know. Is Ottawa signing Jonas Corposalo? That is my favorite signing.
Just because they needed a goalie.
Would you say he was the best goalie available?
Free agency wise,
Yeah.
wasn't he like the only great one available?
There's like Tristan Jory,
Yeah,
who's also decent.
I'll take
And
Corpusalo.
so, and Jory got a bag, right? Corpusalo is only getting 4 mil a year.
Yeah,
It's not bad. The only issue people might have with it is being a 5 year contract because he is 29, so he's gonna be entering his 30s very soon. But Jonas Corpusalo we know is a good goalie, right? There's no doubts about that. Edmonton had trouble beating him in the playoffs.
the first couple of games especially.
Yeah, and then obviously Kings added him for a reason. In the past, he's been good for Columbus. I remember the Columbus Tampa Bay like 5 overtime game where he got the saves record in the game.
Yeah,
Right, he made like 80 plus saves. Corpusalo is a good goalie, definitely an upgrade to whatever Ottawa had last year. He'll give him continuity in the net because Ottawa had 7 goalies last year
yeah.
that played. Right,
Corpusalo
Corpusalo
himself
is
was
good.
injured a little bit too, so we hopefully, because he had double hip surgeries or like hip surgery in general. So the key is, can he stay healthy? And
If he
maintain
stays
this?
healthy, he will
'Cause
provide you good goaltending.
I will
You
agree with you.
you added Chicherin as well. Your defense, the issue was that you all made all these moves offensively,
Yeah,
but now you already had Thomas Chabot defensively. You added in Chicherin, right? You could obviously add a little bit more to defense. I'm not saying they like more defensive defensemen because they have like Chicherin could play off like offensively well. Chabot could play offensively well, and you need a goalie. You got your goalie. This goalie will shut the door for you.
yeah. So here's the thing, I do agree with it. I'm not saying that Ottawa, if everything clicks, could make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, because now they signed
Yeah.
Corpusalo. Now I'm like
So
confident that Ottawa could sneak into a wild card.
okay,
Right? They could also sneak into the third place in a division spot.
yeah,
Obviously, Atlantic is a tough division, but
yeah, true.
they set themselves up for success here.
All right,
That's what I like about this move a lot.
let's go. Let's just go in order. Actually, I don't. Nothing really else stands out for me here.
Uh,
Is there any other big move I'm missing?
I mean, there's definitely some money handed out for sure.
Let's-
Ekman Larson's a Panther now, which is we're like, what the hell?
Yeah, okay, let's go in order. Let's just go Avalanche. Resign Bowen Barham to a 2-year extension.
Yeah,
Cheap contract though. A
yeah,
lot
it
of
is
it
a
might
cheap
because of his
but it's
concussion
injuries
issues.
and concussions, right?
But
Those
three,
are
he
serious.
killed it in the playoff run when they won it.
Yeah, yeah.
Vancouver boy, obviously, giant himself. They re-signed Andrew Cogliano. They brought in Jonathan Drouin only for a year, $825K. They signed Miles Wood to a big contract though, 6 years, $15 million contract. So 2.5, I think it is 2.5 a year.
That is 2.5. Yes.
So they obviously brought in a big body. That was a guy the Canucks were looking at for a big body type guy, like Dakota Joshua style.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the Avalanche move. They're trying to obviously bounce back. They have no Gabriel Landeskog. Big ad with Ryan Johansson earlier on, but we won't get into that one just because they already talked about it. Let's move on. Blackhawks.
They also lost JT Comper, which will be going on to that. So they're the Avs definitely. I don't know. Do you think they gotten worse? They definitely gotten worse, right?
Slightly.
I would think they took a slight step back for
Yeah.
sure.
So Blackhawks brought in Corey Perry for a trade, and then they signed him to a year, $4 million. It's just say veteran presence,
Just
Connor Bedard,
veteran
and
parents, right?
and the
They're
other
just
guy
trying
they
not
brought,
to. They're just trying to surround Connor Bedard with like.
and not just him,
They're
Oliver
just
Moore,
not trying to ruin his
Oliver Moore
confidence,
as well.
right?
But
Yeah. But Oliver Moore, I don't think he's. Is he gonna be from
well,
the
I'm just saying in
beginning?
general,
But, yeah.
he's still gonna be under the development staff right now.
But this is just.
Well, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be on the lineup.
He's not
yeah,
being in the
so,
lineup. So this is just to support Connor Bedard.
Yeah, big
and not,
body, just anyone
and give him
messes
something
with
to
him.
work with. All right.
They also brought in Ryan Donato, 2 years, $4 million.
Yeah.
Moving on, Blue Jackets signed Adam Fantilli to a 3-year entry level. Now, does this mean he's gonna play? Probably AHL, probably. I think.
But yeah, this gives me confidence that he'll play this season. May not
Probably
may
start in
not
the
be from the
AHL,
beginning.
unless he impresses.
Yeah,
But
may not be from the beginning, but I think he'll definitely be have his first NHL game this year.
Yeah. By the way, that Corey Perry trade was for 2024 7th round pick.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna be for much, obviously.
Yeah. Let's go. Bruins. So they lost Dmitry Orlov, which we'll get into, and they lost Tyler Bertuzzi now. They added in Morgan Geekie from Seattle, 2 years, $4 million. They brought back Milan Lucic to a year and $1 million. They brought in Kevin Shattenkirk for 1 year, $1 million. They brought in James Van Riemsdyk for 1 year, $1 million.
Those are the types of contract they were able to afford, though. Issue with the Bruins is now centers.
Is the biggest
Krejci
question.
and Bergeron.
Krejci's probably gone. From what I'm hearing, Bergeron still has a chance of coming back.
So, Bruins, they're definitely in a tough spot, obviously.
Yeah.
Because we would think they would have had it in the bag last year, right?
Yeah.
But obviously they made these moves for Orlov and all this stuff, and
They're gone now.
they don't have enough
Definitely
money.
fell off.
They don't have enough. They don't have enough.
What is
money.
the Bruins, man? Who knows what these guys can do?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't expect them to do that last year, but
Exactly.
definitely right now, what it's looking like ain't looking pretty for them.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
All right, Canadians traded Joel Edmondson to. This is everything that happened on July 1st. I'm just reading it off straight up. To Capitals for 3rd and 7th round picks. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, there's nothing really
So,
to the Capitals.
yeah.
Edmonton.
Capitals added to him.
Good
They
big
added
defenseman.
Max Pacioretty as well.
Yeah.
1 year, $2 million. Obviously injury. Is he gonna come in at the beginning of the season? Will be tough.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't feel like the Capitals are going to
Yeah.
like rebuild. Like they're trying to still push. Obviously, when you have Ovechkin, why not?
Yeah. Arizona, Nick Bukestad 2-year deal. Alex Kerfoot 2-year deal. Troy Stetcher goes back, and then Jason Zucker signed a 1-year deal. So that
Yeah.
Jason Zucker contract is definitely a trade deadline move for sure.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it. Devils re-signed Michael McLeod, Nate Bastian. Those are those. Here the Ducks made some moves. Radko
Yeah.
Gudas, 3 years, $12 million.
That's what I'm really surprised about.
And then
because
4 years, $25 million for Alex Killorn. That Killorn one is, I feel like he just wanted to cash out,
he cashed out
and
for sure.
it's like a similar to Fred vibe. Go be a mentor.
Yeah, 6.25
Yeah,
per year for the next 4 years. Is Anaheim gonna be good these next couple of years? Maybe not. It'll probably take them for sure like 3-4 to be like to jump up like what they
Yeah.
were like early in the 2010s era when they were like finishing first in the division.
yeah.
So, but Radko Gudas, I'm surprised because I thought like him being 33, yeah, maybe
He's
he wanted
that
to big. Huh? He's pretty old,
Oh,
yeah.
wow, okay.
Like I thought he wanted to play for a contender, but I guess not. He got $4 million a year,
Yeah.
so he still got the bag.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ducks gave him that
And
money,
then
personally.
according to this, like yeah, they're making $4 million a year and getting a bag, but this is NHL. So
NHL, yeah. Keep in mind.
it's not the NBA, so
Flyers, Garnet Hathaway, Ryan Poling, they're signed. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what to say about the Flyers.
yeah, I mean, Flyers are not gonna be great. Obviously, now their best thing that's gonna happen to them is waiting for Mitchkov.
Yeah. Here are my winners. Hurricanes
Oh yeah,
brought back
Hurricanes.
Freddie Anderson and
Antti Raanta.
Antti Ranta for a year. Freddie Anderson for 2 years. They signed Michael Bunting out of scoring.
Yeah, a little bit of
That's
scoring.
like the Patrick Reddy replacement.
Yeah,
Jesper Fast
re-signed. Yeah,
re-signed. Hurricanes signed Dmitry Orlov as well. And yeah, that Orlov one is a big one. Already a great defensive team. You add more to it.
yeah.
Orlov had a great
The
year.
thing with the Hurricanes, it was to add goal scoring. They added it in a little bit for Michael Bunting. I don't know how like if they're gonna try to pull off a trade where like they get rid of like one of their defensemen to get like a big time goal scorer.
Yeah, I still think they
But
need that because
but I don't think they're gonna do it. Maybe it just depends on how they perform.
Yeah, yeah. Canes just got better and better. Still have an elite coach.
Yeah.
They have that culture set up there. Here are my losers, Islanders.
Oh my
They
goodness! What are
re-signed
you
Pierre Engvall to a
doing?
7-year, $21 million
What do
contract.
yo?
Re-signed Scott Mayfield to a 7-year, $24.5 million extension. They re-signed Ilya Sorokin to an 8-year, $66 million extension beginning in 2024.
Yo, Sorokin one is kind of understandable, but
But,
Sorokin's
but they also signed Semyon Varlamov to a 4-year,
that's what I don't
11.
understand, right? You're giving
And then on top of that, you also extended Bo Horvat in the middle of the year.
yeah, so you're giving well, Sorokin's making 8 mil a year, right?
Yeah.
And then Marmelov's so you're getting 10 mil to your goalies.
And essentially 3 mil to
You're giving 10 mil to your goalies.
well 2.9 I think, whatever it is. 4 years 11 mil, so that's like roughly 3 years. 3 mil.
No, like 10 mil per year to your goalies. Sorokin getting 8 mil
Yeah.
and Varlamov getting like 2 mil.
No, it's almost 3 mil. 4 years 11 mil.
So it's
It's
basically
close to 3 mil.
so it's 11 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money to your goaltending.
Yeah. Like,
Like
Sorokin's the one that's gonna be playing.
yeah, and then
On top of that, you signed, like I said, Bo Horvat.
Pierre
8.5.
Engvall, I'm not too familiar with Pierre Engvall. He is 27, but that's still
Still 3
7
million.
years.
3 mil cap, it's big in the
3 mil
NHL.
cap hit's big, but for 7 years, that is
Yeah.
the term. That's the issue, right?
The terms are
What the hell are
issue.
you doing with Scott Mayfield? He's already 30 and you're giving him a 7-year extension?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that. Like,
And then you still have guys on the Bucks. Andrew Ladd, I believe, is still there. Or no, wrong guy.
bro, you have Bo Horvat, you have Pollock, Pelech, like all
JG
these guys.
Pageau.
They're in cap hell,
Yeah.
and they
They're
just
they're the Benning Canucks right now.
they screwed it up. They screwed it up even
Bo,
more.
not a good decision for you to sign there, but,
Yeah.
and try to win. But all right, Jets signed Laurent Brossoit coming back, right? 'Cause he was there
Yeah, he
before.
was former Jet.
Colin Delia also there, so they got 2 goalies. They don't know what's happening with Hellebuck.
Yeah.
They also signed Vladislav Nemestnikov, 2 years, 4 million, so 2 per year. And they also signed Jeffrey Veal to 1 year, 775K. They lost Blake Wheeler, obviously. They're just I don't know. They're a team that should rebuild, but are they? Is the question.
I don't know if they are, but they're
They also lost PLD, so that's the other thing too.
they're not. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but
EFLO's still there, so yeah, they're trying to win.
they're trying to win because they got a decent return
Yeah.
for Dubois.
Kings. So we spoke about them losing on Corpusalo. What are they doing at goalie? Because right now they signed David Riddick and Cam Talbot.
That's their goalie.
But I think they're trading because this is 1 year, 1 mil contracts. Each.
Yeah, I don't know. They're probably.
I think they're going after Hellebuck.
they have
I think
to,
so.
right?
They have to at this point.
That's the only
Stamkos no
option.
longer on the market like he was.
Yeah.
Supposedly was, but yeah.
I mean, they can't
They have
really do
a
anything.
huge question mark at goalie now. Huge question mark.
I mean, the only other person maybe was Jari, but Jari resigned.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh. We'll get into that in a second. But they also signed Andreas England, 2 years, 2 mil. Trevor Lewis, 1 year, 775. Yeah, so there's those.
Yeah, they definitely have an issue at goalie for sure.
So yeah, for me, their biggest question mark is goalie. That's the only way they'll get back into the playoffs like they were last year.
Yeah.
Kraken signed Brian Dumoulin, and they also signed today Kaylor Yamamoto.
Okay, yeah.
The Yamamoto one came today.
Yamamoto came today, yeah, that's for sure.
Well, Yamamoto 1 year, 1.5 prove it deal. I thought Yamamoto was solid for Edmonton.
So Kraken also signed Dumoulin?
Yeah.
So that'll probably be like a Susie replacement type thing, right?
Yeah.
Dumoulin was, I think it was a decent deal, right? What was it? Do you remember the deal? Yeah. No.
6.3, so 3.
So 3.1 per year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that'll be enough for them, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't hate that too much.
Lightning signed Josh Archibald, Luke Glendening, Jonas Johansson, Connor Sheary, They obviously lost again. Who did they just lose? Killorn,
Cologne,
right? A lot
they
last
traded
year.
Ross Colton. They lost a lot of players, but
It's still a Lightning.
they're still lightning.
I'm not counting them
They
out.
managed
They signed Calvin DeHaan as well.
they who they wanted to keep, they managed to keep, right?
Yeah.
That's what matters. And they have their core pieces still there, and their big stars still there.
Maple Leafs signed Ryan Reese to a 3-year, 4.05. A little bit of a head scratcher at his age. Should have been
Yeah,
like a 1-2 year deal for me.
but
And they also brought
they
in
wanted size and they got size.
John Klingberg for 1 year, 4 mil.
They wanted size and they got size in Ryan Reeves.
Yeah.
Klingberg, I guess. I don't know if he's gonna help too much, but he has a. Klingberg had a good like. I don't know if he could just recapture his form.
He has to recapture his Dallas form.
Yeah, his Dallas form.
Panthers, like you said, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Dmitry Kulikov, Nico Makola, Mike Riley, Anthony Stolars. He's a goalie. I heard of him.
Yeah, he's gonna be back up anyway. So
And they traded away Duclair for Steven Lorentz and a 5th-round pick. And they also just signed Evan Rodriguez
yeah,
for a 4-year deal.
Florida was trying to they definitely added.
They're in the Hanifin mix as well.
They wanted to add to the defense,
Yeah.
right? And I guess they wanted to get defensively better because Bobrovsky did a lot in the playoffs. I guess more than they wanted, so they're probably trying to beef up the defense to help up their goaltender.
Yeah. Penguins signed Noel Achari, Lars Eller, Ryan Graves to a 6-year, $27 million contract.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
This
what
one's
the
head
hell?
scratcher because he struggled, but Tristan Jarry to a 5-year, five.
You know, he's
point
been
something.
good. It's not a struggle. Like his last couple years been good. It's been injuries.
And
Obviously,
then they
before
also
that,
brought for insurance. They also brought in Alex Nedeljkovic and Matt Nieto.
yeah, like
Oh,
Jari.
Alex Nedeljkovic for goalie.
Yeah, obviously,
but yeah.
what's the contract for Jari? Like
5 point something. It was
5
total
point something?
26.875.
yeah, so it's okay. Like he's been good these last couple years. It's been injuries the issue.
Yeah.
He struggled in the playoffs again. I think in the Islander series a couple years ago. So I guess last year he started getting a little bit mean, but his game improved a lot these last 2 years.
Rangers, Bonino.
Yeah,
If those guys don't know, I search it up. Harner Ryan saying shout out to you. He's the one who made that saying.
the Nick Bodino call.
Nick Bonino, Rangers. Eric Gustafson, Rangers. Jonathan Quick didn't retire.
Yeah.
Rangers. Eric Gustafson. Blake Wheeler ended up going there as well. So, they obviously have question mark now to fill in with Tarasenko and Patrick Kane as
But
well.
Blake Wheeler does like replaces one of them basically.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane's injured, so they're not bringing him back.
Or they will
Like
bring
he'll
out
be
GPO.
out. He'll be out for the beginning for sure.
Yeah. Red Wings, Shane Gostisbehere, 1 year. JT Comfer, 5
That
year,
was the big
25.
signing for.
That's big, bro.
Red Wings-
Uh,
for the Red Wings.
Red Wings is another team like the Senators who might go up. Justin Holl, struggled with the Leafs a little bit, but
He'll still provide
and then
decent
Klim
minutes.
Kostin and Gustav Lindstrom, Alex Lyon
Yeah, so that's why
is there,
Florida
2
signed a
years,
goalie.
1.8, and then James Reimer as well. They've been signing Daniel Sprong. Yeah, this team, and then we'll talk about the Sabres as well. Sabres got Connor Clifton, 3 years, 10 mil. Eric Johnson, Tyson Jost,
Yeah,
brought back.
they're definitely going to need Eric
So
Johnson.
those are the 3 teams that I'm like, including the Senators, where I'm like, can they make that push? They're one of the hardest divisions, that's for sure. But can they move up?
Yeah, the thing is, those 3 teams, especially Ottawa and Buffalo, with the Johnson signing, they addressed some of their needs, right? And then Red Wings added JT Compher, which I like.
Yeah,
It's a good center. Just gonna help your team out.
exactly. Senators, we said Corpusalo, Eric Brandstrom, right? Sharks, we already talked about the Senators, so we'll stop that there. Mackenzie Blackwood, Kyle Burrows. Shout out Kyle Burrows. I wish he stayed with the Canucks, local boy too, but I'm happy he got a 3-year contract. Fabian Zetterlund, Giovanni Smith. But are we really expecting anything from the Sharks?
No, nothing, right? Like,
They're trying to get rid of Erik Karlsson now.
yeah, nothing's gonna happen for Sharks. They're not gonna be good for the next few years. So yeah,
Dallas, Matt Duchene, 1 year, 3 mil.
yeah, that's definitely a
piece of
good
business
pickup
there.
for sure. Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry, I skipped a team because I just saw Matt Duchene, the Predators, but I'll get back to them then.
Yeah.
They also traded away. Sorry, why is this out of order? Okay, Matt Duchene, they traded away Colin Miller to the Devils for a 5th-round pick. And they signed Craig Smith, 1 year, 1 mil.
Yeah.
Now, I know we're jumping through the NHL, to be honest. I don't know some of these guys as much as I do with the NBA, but that also shows how weak the NHL draft class or free agency class was.
Yeah, it was very weak.
Yeah.
Like Orlov was the number one guy,
Yeah.
right? And
But,
then
okay,
I was
let's
a little
jump.
bit
Okay,
surprised to see
the
that.
team that. Let's jump up to the Predators, because that was
That was
an
very interesting.
interesting
it was
thing. They
very
bought out
interesting.
guys. I thought they were. And then Barry Trotz said he wants to go offensive. Right? They brought in Andrew Brunette for a reason.
Yeah,
And then you bring in guys like, I love Luke Shen. I'm glad he got this contract. 3 years, 8.25 after playing under a mil for the last 3 years. Ryan O'Reilly went there.
yeah.
Gustav Nyquist. They re-signed Cody Glass. What are they doing?
I'm confused.
I thought he wanted to rebuild, and this does not seem like a rebuild.
Yeah,
And
right.
then they're also bringing in classic Barry Trotz players, defensive grind. So I don't know what they're doing down in Predator land.
I don't know. Nashville. It's confusing to me because like the trade deadline, it seemed like okay,
Because it bought out Matt Duchene.
yeah, like you bought him out to Shane, you got rid of Johansson, you got rid of your people in the
Back home.
trade deadline, like at home, right? So it just felt like you guys want to rebuild, right? I think they wanted to really trade up in the draft. So,
They
but
didn't.
they didn't. But I think they had 2 first rounds. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they did. So I'm confused because it just everything trended towards a rebuild, but that's not.
That's
it
why I'm
didn't
like,
seem like the
I'm in
case.
the Islanders. I think they still lost because like the signings. They
Islanders
made
a bigger
weren't-
loss, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Is it just trade chips for us? Like for example, that like the Ryan O'Reilly, fair contract. I thought he was gonna get more,
But
but
the term was like
4 years.
4 years.
That's the question mark.
Yeah, he's already like.
You already know Luke Shen will command a
I
trade.
think isn't he like 35 already?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luke
so
Shen himself will
that
those
4
type of
years is a
defensemen
lot.
you need anyways, and that's a pretty fair contract for a right shot demon.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then let's just go into today. Quick news that happened today. Nothing major. Avalanche brought back Jack Johnson. Lightning, I said Maple Leafs, Evan Rodriguez. Yeah, nothing big. Christian Fisher, Gavin Bayreuther. Yeah, so all these guys got contracts today. Oh,
So basically, right now the best player available might be Tarasenko, right?
yeah.
So he'll probably definitely be a name to watch. Do you think the Canucks bring back Ethan Bear?
He's not playing till January,
Yeah,
so maybe, like just cause
just cause.
he's
Uh,
only gonna get less than a mil. That's for sure.
Like
Well, sorry, your best player available technically is Patrice Bergeron.
other than the Canucks, who do you think did a good job? And the Hurricanes, because you already mentioned that.
Yeah, that's it. The Hurricanes. You said Ottawa, right?
I'm going with Ottawa because I
Just
really
'cause the
like this.
goalie.
Yeah, I really like the signing for Corpusalo.
Oh, we forgot to mention one thing. Sorry,
Yeah.
Vegas, Barbashev. We forgot to mention last pod.
Oh yeah, Vegas. Yeah,
5x5. That was the reason why they traded away Riley Smith.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah, back to topic is genuinely like
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I like what the Devils did in general.
yeah, Devils had good off because the Devils like were able
Just
to
general
retain-
offseason. I'm not saying
Yeah,
the signings.
generally like Devils did well in their offseason, locking up Timo Meyer, right? Locking up Brat.
I'm gonna say Devils. Just general offseason Devils.
Yeah, and I just obviously Carolina's up there for sure. How would you evaluate Canucks'?
In the middle of the pack. Nothing
Right,
special.
like, it's not like-
as Canucks fans, the reason why we're happy is because we're just used to bad contracts. These are not really bad contracts.
Right, and
This
they're
year, at least.
they're low risk, right?
They're low risk contracts.
Susie's probably
1 year
definitely the
contracts are not
biggest one.
bad contracts.
They're not. They can't be. And they addressed the need, right? They struggled in clearly one topic that was penalty kill,
Yeah.
historically worst. So adding in a couple penalty killers, Teddy Bluger, adding in some size as well. This is definitely gonna help for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think they sign anyone else?
Canucks?
Yeah, because like
I feel like it's
they,
more.
they didn't really like you said, they didn't really pay heavy, right? So I don't know if they could
I don't know if they'll find.
able to bring
Okay, here.
someone.
So I actually pulled it up, but I put it away now. These as of yesterday. So this is like yesterday's.
Yeah.
Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci, Patrick Kane, Max Domi, Vladimir Tarasenko,
Like,
Thomas
I have it
Tatar.
right. The only one I'm looking at right now is maybe a Thomas Nosek, but I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know how much money he would want,
And
right?
then
Like,
Matt Dumba's gonna sign somewhere else. There's no way.
yeah, but
I
there's
don't know if
nothing
he
really
really
else
is.
like we can add. I don't know how much money we have. For me, you already know one name I'm gonna say.
Tyler Mott.
Tyler Mott, baby. We gotta bring back Tyler Mott.
Those of you who don't know, Jovin's favorite player, Canuck player ever, is Tyler Mott.
Tyler Mott's an absolute goat. Nobody, no, come at me, but just don't come at me because Tyler Mott's a goat. As simple as that. Tyler Mott ended Alex Pietrangelo in St. Louis. All right. He ended.
There's your clip.
He ended.
You found your clip.
He ended Alex Pietrangelo. All right. Tyler Mott ruined Alex Pietrangelo's St. Louis career. Shipped him off to Vegas after we beat him in the bubble playoffs.
So how much money do you want to give him?
Absolutely embarrassed him.
What you want to give him a 2-year $5 million deal then, or what?
Huh? Let's give him a 1 year, $20 million contract.
Okay. Okay, realistically though,
I'm at like, yeah, it's probably like 2 year max. I don't know how much money we have. It'll definitely be
he's
like,
probably gonna command like max 1.5.
yeah, it's
I
nothing.
think.
Yeah.
Because like, he's not being picked up again. Like last year when we got rid of him, no one picked him up. That was
Yeah,
like,
no one really picked him up.
Then he got traded back to the Rangers.
He went back to the Rangers. I think
Yeah.
Ottawa picked him up, right?
Ottawa signed him.
And then
We traded him to the Rangers. Ottawa signed him. Then Ottawa traded him to the Rangers.
to the Rangers, yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to some quick fire. We got an MLB trade. We've got some soccer. Long podcast. Thank you if you guys are still here watching. We appreciate it. Quick fire. Just boxing news. Update to the Canelo fight. He's versing Jermell Charlo now. Jermall Charlo was the original guy. That's his
Yeah.
twin brother. Undisputed versus undisputed on September 30th. And like I said, Jermell Charlo has one loss on his record, but that was like early on, I believe. So big fight then. UFC is also this coming Saturday. We'll talk about that on Wednesday or Thursday's pod. And then MLB. Two things happen. One, let's talk about a trade since we're in like off-season mode anyways right now. Aroldis Chapman. He was a Kansas City Royal. Wanted to prove himself. He did. And now he's going to a contender. Arguable contender.
Texas Rangers.
Yeah. Texas Rangers have got Aroldis Chapman for Cole Reagans and outfield Ronnie Cabrera. The one thing about MLB trades is you guys are probably not going to know half the people because they're usually, if a top
Like
player gets traded,
prospects,
it's usually
yeah.
prospects that get traded, not even picks, prospects. So he got traded for like 2 prospects, and he's on a cheap contract. Yeah. The next thing is the MLB All-Star starters have been announced. The All-Star game should be around July 15-ish, 13 to 15.
Yeah, around then.
American League catcher is Jonah Heim from Texas. First base, Yandy Diaz from the Rays. Second base, Marcus Semien from the Rangers.
The Rangers dominated for sure.
Third
Third base is
Josh Jung, Rangers.
And then
Shortstop, a little bit of a surprise just because this guy was injured and we thought Bo Bichette would have gotten in, is Corey Seager.
Yeah, Bo Bichette was the only Blue Jay that deserved it.
Aaron
Like
Judge,
batting wise.
Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Randy Rosarena
But Aaron Judge
is injured.
is a
So he'll probably get
replacement.
replaced by someone. And Shohei Ohtani,
Who was already locked in.
who's already locked in. But National League, Sean Murphy from the Braves, Freddie Freeman from the Dodgers, no surprise. Luis Reyes, no surprise.
Second
Marlins.
base, yeah.
Is he still hitting 400? I don't even know.
He's in like 390s. On.
Nolan Arenado, Cardinals. Orlando Arcia, Braves, shortstop. Outfield, Ronald Acuna was already a lock with Mookie Betts and Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, rookie.
Potential rookie of the year there. And then JD Martinez has revived himself in the Dodgers. The pitchers and the reserves should be announced today.
Actually?
Fan voting only decides the starters for hitting positions. All-star pitchers and reserve position players for both leagues will be announced Sunday at 2:30 our time.
Well, that means it's already out.
It is out. Speaking of it,
It
it's
is out, right? Yeah.
Okay, so breaking news: we got the full All-Star thing. All-Star
Yeah.
starters already announced. All-Star reserves: Salvador Perez, Adley Rutschman.
For catching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
Whit Merrifield, Bo Bichette, no Matt Chapman.
That's who?
It's Jose Ramirez.
Okay.
Lewis. Keep in mind, there's probably like future fan voting for other reserves as well.
Yeah.
Which is how some of these guys, like last year, I think Aspinall got in, and
Yeah.
also injury replacements. Lewis Robert Jr. outfield, Jordan Alvarez outfield, Austin Hayes outfield, Adolis Garcia outfield, and Brent Rooker is the DH. Your boy Brandon Belt got snubbed.
Brandon Bell got snubbed.
The pitchers. Okay.
All right, here's what I'm waiting for.
Shohei Ohtani,
Yeah.
Garrett Cole,
Yeah.
Shane McClanahan,
Yeah.
Nathan Eovaldi,
Yeah.
Sonny Gray,
Yeah.
Luis Castillo,
Yeah.
Framber Valdez,
Yeah.
Michael Lorenzen, and Kevin Gosman.
Okay, yeah, Kevin Gosman had to be in there.
Bassett screwed himself over.
Yeah, Bastis himself over his last 3 starts.
Relief pitchers. Felix Bautista,
Yeah.
Emmanuel Clase,
Yeah, Manny
Kenley
Clase.
Jansen, and Yenier Cano. No Jordan Romano.
No Jordan Romano?
No.
Wow.
NL reserves, Will Smith, not the hockey player or the actor.
This catcher.
Elias Diaz, catchers. Matt Olson and Pete Alonso. Ozzy Albies, Dansby Swanson made it. Austin Riley, Nick Castellanos, former Blue Jay Lourdes Gurriel Jr.,
Yeah.
Juan Soto, and Jorge Soler. Pitchers, Clayton Kershaw, Mitch Keller, Zach Gallen, Bryce Elder, Spencer Strider, Josiah Gray, Marcus Stroman, Alexis Diaz, Justin Steele.
Yeah, Justin Steele is one I'm looking for.
Alexis Diaz is a relief pitcher, sorry. Josh Hader, Camilo Doval, and Devin Williams. Now, obviously, I'm not familiar with a lot of the NL guys, but
Yeah, but
just because speaking of the
there's
Blue
2
Jays,
Cubs in there.
speaking of the
Stroman.
Blue Jays, they also choked and lost today.
Yeah, Stroman and no Blue Jays lost.
Yeah.
Holy hell, man.
But yeah, so those are the baseball all-stars. So we got some breaking news
Yeah.
twice on the show.
Stroman and Justin Steele were the 2 Cubs starting pitchers.
Yeah. So we got 2 breaking news right when I read that. So that's good. Clippable moments. We got more.
Yeah.
But let's move on. End it off with soccer. Almost a 2-hour pod here. First off, the breaking news today, again for soccer that came out, the Guardiola chase is almost over. Red Bull Leipzig director reveals talks over 100 million Man City deal. He'll end up in Pep's strong hands.
Yeah.
You're a
that's-
huge fan of this guy.
Gavardio was absolutely incredible in that World Cup, man. He's a big guy. He's physical, right? He could win headers, clear the ball. He's good offensively, right? He could play the ball a little bit too, left-footed as well. There's not many left-footed center backs, right?
Yeah.
Compared to right-footed center backs, so he could play on the left side well. So, and he's a little bit pacey for a big guy.
Yeah.
He's just an all-around good defender,
Yeah.
good center back.
So the rich get richer. Financial fair
and
play
that's-
rules don't
that-
exist.
That's actually horrible.
Well, speaking of more signings, Man United finally made a signing.
Mason Mount.
Mason Mount for 55 plus 5 mil add-ons, so 60 mil total. I'm glad we didn't goof up like we were like Man United typically does. I'm not a huge fan of him, but hey, if Ten Hag wants him, I'll trust it because he's shown it.
Mount is a decent player, man. There's no arguing that.
Yeah.
He's definitely gonna. Was it our biggest need? No, but it's like a filler for Eriksen.
I would say it
right?
still kind of is.
Huh?
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Christian
No,
Eriksen
biggest
struggled,
need is
you
striker.
still needed it.
Biggest need is striker.
Well, biggest need is striker,
Exactly.
for sure.
Was
Maybe
it-
goalie now because we don't have a goalie
Yeah.
anymore.
So, but Mason Mount was obviously Eriksen. Eriksen was good, but near the end, you could just tell the fatigue was getting to him because the midfield 3,
And he was coming off injury.
and he was coming off injury. The midfield 3 was really playing,
Yeah.
well. This guy could also give Bruno Fernandes a rest as well,
Yeah.
and Eriksen as well. So
So
is he gonna start? Maybe not. It might be the
I think
same
he might
midfield
be,
3,
but yeah.
but it could still be Eriksen off the bench as well.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
he's
we
also
could actually rotate during cup games now.
yeah, he could rotate well. You're not gonna lose anything realistically. He could play that Eriksen position. He could play the Cam position, right?
Yeah.
So depth-wise is a good signing. Obviously, 60 mil is gonna be a lot in my books, but
Every move is big now.
every
but-
move is gonna be big now,
and
right?
it's Man United, so
Yeah.
you know what it is.
So
Speaking of Man
obviously
United,
that's why I don't
figure
hate
out
it.
your ownership, please. That's it. I mean, we've been saying it
Basically,
every time. Next up, Pau Torres, the guy who was linked to Man United last year, is reuniting with Unai Emery, right?
Yeah.
With Aston Villa. So big pickup for them for European action. Lucas Hernandez is now a PSG player.
Yeah.
Byron used obviously that spot and replaced him with Kim Min-jae. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, another Chelsea clear out, is now AC Milan.
Yeah.
Liverpool made a signing. Cesar Bosele
We don't know. He's a Hungarian Leipzig player.
Yeah.
He's
For
22
70
years
mil,
old.
they triggered his release clause last
Yeah.
minute at the deadline.
Yeah.
Dominic Szoboszlai,
Yeah. Quick point on Liverpool.
they're bolstering their midfield.
They're bolstering their midfield. They're doing what they're needed to do. They already added McAllister. Obviously, I'm not too familiar with this guy's game. What's his Dominic? I'm not gonna say his last name.
Yeah.
But he's a young guy. He's from Leipzig, right? Leipzig's a decent team.
Yeah.
He's 22 years old. There's gonna be potential for him.
Yeah. 70
do
mil's a
something,
lot
right?
still. And
Yeah. I mean, they probably wanted him, right? Like, there's something
yeah,
about
so
him. There has
I
to
don't
be
mind
something
people
about
spending
him.
their money, but then keep it both ways, man.
Like, there's
big
probably
signings
something
being
about
made,
him,
yeah.
right? And then
He's
they're
22
they're bolstering the midfield, which is good.
Newcastle also wanted him. He was
Which sucks for us because
Yeah.
we're gonna have to deal with that.
Newcastle is also wanted him. 22 year old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're also in for Romelu Lavia.
Yeah, Lavia is gonna be a good player.
Chelsea addressed their goal shortage officially with Nico Jackson from Villarreal. Milan Skriniar joins PSG on a free.
Yeah.
Aspilicueta terminated his contract with Chelsea and is now joining Atletico
Wow.
as a free agent. Before I get into the rumors quickly, just quickly go through that. Shout out and congratulations to a legend, Francesc, also known as Cesc Fabregas, has officially retired from football. Known for his time early on with Arsenal, went to Barcelona, and went back to Chelsea, where he won multiple Premier Leagues. He won, I don't think he won the Champions League, but won the World Cup, won 2 Euros, won the league with Barca. Obviously went over to Monaco for a little bit.
He's a very accomplished player, very good player.
Very underrated player, a lot, key player. I loved him. Well, I loved watching him. Obviously, he's an Arsenal guy, so I'm not, and Chelsea. So I wanted to say I was heavily rooting for him, but as a player, great player.
He's a great player for sure.
He will now be coaching as the head coach of Como B and Primavera teams following the Italian club's long-term project. So this is his perfect moment, he says, to start his career as a coach. And shout out to you. Congratulations.
And all
enjoy
the best.
retirement and enjoy coaching. Let's quickly check. Just quick.
There's one rumor I saw where like Ramos and Alba could join Inter Miami, making it 4 players now with Messi and Busquets already there.
Yeah.
So I don't know when they're gonna join, but Inter Miami better hope is fast because
They're struggling.
It ain't looking good for them.
AC Milan are in contact with Christian Pulisic. So essentially, Chelsea replaced doing good business, or trying to bring in Moises Caicedo, brought in Nico Jackson, right? They brought in Nkunku.
Yeah,
so
I'm like,
these
how
names
much
right.
is it? Pochettino actually being in control and trying to like putting in sense into.
Here's a big
their
one.
owner.
Dortmund have failed in a bid to re-sign Jadon Sancho.
Wow.
Southampton midfielder has emerged a target for Liverpool, according to Fabrizio Romano. From the source of Nacional, Man United and Arsenal could set battle to sign Aurelien Tchouameni.
Actually, Tchouameni could be available.
Yes.
Wow.
I also saw one where Fede Valverde could be going to Liverpool as well.
Oh no, I don't want
For
that.
90 mil though, so I don't know.
And that's a lot of money, but Fede Valverde to Liverpool, that'll be scary.
Yeah.
That'll be scary.
There's 45-year-old Gianluigi Buffon has an offer from Saudi.
Oh my god.
15 million a year for 2 years. So let's see if he actually plays. I don't know. I thought he
that's actually
retired,
insane,
but he
yeah.
didn't. Bernardo Silva received a massive offer from Saudi, and we're pretty much it because David De Gea is also considering Saudi, and Onana, we don't know what's happening with that right now. So.
Yeah.
Well, this marks the end of the ultimate off-season recap.
Yeah.
Because this is probably close to 2 hours, and we appreciate
Bro,
everybody,
it is
one of
2
you
hours.
guys. We appreciate everybody, one of you guys watching. Again, go check out our tier list video of the NHL. Drop down. Since we're done doing our tier list recaps, put it in the comments what tier list you want to see. Do you want to see, logo rankings, jersey rankings, future projections, anything? Well, we'll consider. We'll do.
Yeah. Also, check out the other tier list videos, NBA tier list and EPL tier list video as well.
Yeah, and make sure you guys check out our Instagram, our TikTok, and our YouTube Shorts. We'll be posting, like I said, every day. And other than that, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.